backup catcher got the win. I showed up down at Wrigley with a belly full of gin. I knew it would be a long one, and when Jackson was pitching, the night the backup catcher got the win. And when Jackson only lasted 4, the game was tied for 12 more innings, nobody could score. We went to Captain Morgan's cause we wanted to drink more. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. Sat in the upper deck with 3 of my best friends. The night the backup catcher got the win. We went just outside to have a smoke, but as we stood beyond the gates, Captain Morgan's closed. We got left outside and we couldn't get back in. The night the backup catcher got the win. We were 3 sheets to the wind and overserved, and we couldn't get back to our seats in upper deck reserved. So we watched the game from the dugout on Addison. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. Got sick outside of Wrigley from mixing beer and gin. The night the backup catcher got the win. And then, as the story's told, John Baker, the Cubs' backup catcher, took the mound in the top of the 16th inning, pitching a scoreless frame, facing the minimum. Then, in the bottom of the 16th inning, John came to the plate and took a walk. Then he ended up on third base somehow, at which point Starlin Castro hit a sacrifice fly, winning the game! John Baker finally won it in 16. On the most exciting sac fly in this baseball fan has seen. But I sort of missed it, I was drunk as Charlie Sheen. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. Oh, they threatened us with handcuffs when we tried to sneak back in. The night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win.
John Baker!
Oh, baby. Oh, that was nice. You're all red in the face, Michael Cotton.
That was, yeah, it's a completely different sound than Son Ranto. It's like you would think it would be exactly the same.
It is.
It wasn't. Not at all. I just messed myself all up. I'll be feeling that later.
You strained a vocal cord. Just so did I in that song. Happy John Baker Day, everybody. Yesterday and today are the day we celebrate the 12th anniversary of the night that John Baker, the Cubs catcher, got the win and scored the game-winning run in the wee hours of today, July 30th in 2014. It's also the 10th anniversary of the first John Baker Day, where we raised a bunch of money for Cubs charities, and it was going to spawn a really wonderful relationship that we've had over the years to raise money for different organizations that are very deserving. This year, we are benefiting Trapdoor Theater, who's going to be producing my baseball backdropped musical farce called The Game. And so tonight we've got an auction, the John Baker Day auction. That is live right now as we speak. It's up to $1,845. I'm dropping the link in the chat if you want to get in there. It's basically buy my stuff. Buy my stuff, or go to lunch with Bleacher Jeff and sit in the bleachers in his seat. Maybe he'll let you sit there. And then that's also for auction. Also, we're going to have John on and his brother Will in just a second, but I want to just explain this really quick. We are doing a raffle tonight, and if you want to buy raffle tickets, we're just going to do this like kind of haphazardly. I've never done it this way before, but this is the way we're doing it, and that is just Venmo me. Venmo at Danny Rockett with 2 T's. I got it streaming across the bottom. The grand prize tonight is this unopened bottle of 2016 Cubs World Series champagne. Retail value right now $72,000. So get in there right now. No, put this back around where it's safe, and then
put your grandchildren through school with that.
Yeah. We also have a Patrick Wisdom, Matt Kammerer, Matt Kammerer art piece that's signed, that's been donated by Crawley. It comes with a baseball that's also signed by Patrick Wisdom. This is in the raffle. We also have Dominic Galoro has he makes cool stuff like this that you're looking at right now, cutting boards, also coasters and tumblers, things like that. So Dominic has donated a piece that he'll do custom for you. That is in the raffle tonight. So get in there. In the Clutch Shirts has donated gift certificates. Penguin Imprints has donated gift certificates. Ballhawk Dave has donated a jewelry piece that here's his corner there on corner of Kenmore and Waveland, where Ballhawk Dave sells his wares, and he's donated something as well. In the auction, we have a Anthony Rizzo baseball bat that's currently going for $300 right now. We also have this original Matt Kammerer Javier Baez over the map of Puerto Rico art piece. This is the original. This is the Wilson Contreras original art piece from Matt Kammerer. Also, this one is signed by Wilson Contreras. Also says Venezuela Libre. And last time I looked, this doesn't have any bids at all. Pedro Strop, Matt Kammerer. This is a print. This is also signed. And I got a couple Ernie Banks signed Steins and a Norman Rockwell Stein. Nobody's bid on this one yet either. And finally, we have a this Obvious shirt, limited edition of the John Baker game. You should go buy it at Obvious Shirts, and then Joe's going to give a donation to Trapdoor Theater. And finally, the way that you can help the most is by just giving money to Trapdoor. I've set up a GoFundMe. That money goes straight to them to continue to produce and produce the game next summer, which is when we're planning to do it. The last I know I've said the last a bunch, but but the last thing I want to point out that is for auction, and it does have some bids. This is the first thing I earned as a writer about the Cubs. It is a Cubs earn. I wrote a story about the Cubs fan burial wall that is in Bohemian National Cemetery just off of Foster and Kedzie, and where I hope to be buried someday, to be honest, but not in this, because I'm auctioning this off. If you want to go out in style, letting everybody know who you were a fan of, this is the way to do it. This plaque is waiting for your name right here.
And honestly, anybody who gets this urn really needs to take it around. Like, ball players see all sorts of things that they sign, right? Very few are going to see somebody come up with their urn and be like, I'm going to die and be cremated and put in this. I want your name on it. And it might just creep them out more than anything, but I think it'd also be kind of cool.
So I also want to point out that already $340 has been donated tonight, and through Venmo, just people sending me money randomly, but like, here's for the musical, here's the musical. That's $340, and everything is going to be matching with a gift from Mike Waller from the Cubs PS Plus podcast. He is going to be matching every single thing that we raised tonight through the auction, through the raffle, through everything so that we're doing tonight. So thank you, Mike. That's incredibly generous, and I appreciate everything that you're doing to help. So hashtag, I know we usually do hashtag chance in the chat, but tonight we're doing hashtag Baker in the chat. Hashtag BAKER in the chat, and you could win this from Penguin Imprints, this John Baker credit card bottle opener. So Oh yeah, Mr. Fourth Row is asking how much are raffle tickets. They are $5 a piece, or I'll give you 5 for $20. So that's the deal we're doing tonight. Much simpler than usual. So hashtag Baker and the Chance. Thank you, Artie, for being here, and Alex. And I saw somebody else. Joey said Chance. That is incorrect, Joey. It's hashtag Baker tonight. So if you want to get in the competition, that's how you do it. And so without further ado, I just want to bring on my friends, John and Will Baker. And welcome to your day, John.
Hey, I'm excited to celebrate myself. Who isn't?
Well, that's what we're here for, is to celebrate you. Todd's here, and Will Baker's here, and a lot of people don't know Will, but the trombone that you just heard played on that version of the Ballad of John Baker was Will playing the trombone, and he also plays for the opera here in Chicago. And I've been lucky enough to be the recipient of free tickets to the weird operas that the old people don't want to see.
Perfect for Danny Rockett style.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Danny's going to love this one about the cults.
Yes.
I did, actually. I enjoyed that one. A lot of weird chords in that one. Well, welcome. Now, the way that we wanted to start this out is, Will, you said you've got a piece that's somewhat patriotic that you're going to bless us with right now. And I figure that's a great way to get going with a little live tunage.
Yes. So I have an arrangement of the Star Spangled Banner that actually has Chicago ties. If you can stick with me for 5 seconds. So many of you will probably know who Dave Brubeck is, really famous jazz pianist, wrote Take Five.
Take Five.
Dave Brubeck has a son named Dave Brubeck, who's a bass trombone player and jazz musician. And he wrote a number of these unaccompanied trombone little short pieces that are called stereograms, that are little snippets, a musical snippet, kind of like a musical portrait devoted to or inspired by a famous trombone player or famous musician. And the one that I'm going to play was actually inspired by the bass trombonist of the Chicago Symphony, Mr. Charlie Vernon, who's just a legend in the brass world at large, but also definitely in the trombone world. And it just so happens to be the Star Spangled Banner arrangement. So I figured, this is very baseball. Got to kick it off with some Star Spangled Banner. So without further ado, this is the Star Spangled Banner arrangement. For the purists out there, this is definitely not the exact Star Spangled Banner you're going to be singing along to, but that's okay. I feel like that fits the theme of Funky
and
Days.
I promise not to sing along.
Please do not. Yeah.
Let me get my mic adjusted real here, and then we'll jump in to a little Star Spangled.
Yeah.
I heard the brown goat in there. I heard that.
We're at least
You got real low.
at least 5 brown notes in that one.
Yeah.
Just for you, Danny.
Yeah, and I asked you to put one of those in the Ballad of John Baker so we could make people that were listening to it accidentally have to crap themselves, but and it works. Everybody tells me it's great it's better than fiber, they say.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And if anyone wants to hear more brown notes, I play downtown at Lyric Opera, and season starts in October. And I also play any of the Joffrey ballets that have bass trombone on them. So this year we've got one in September, and then Nutcrackers, and some stuff in the spring, Sleeping Beauty in the spring. So I've been back in Chicago now for 2 years, and Bleeding Cubby Blue again. So.
And I got to tell you, you've been super helpful with me when I've sent you the trombone parts that I'm writing for the game, the musical, and you're like, great advice on the arrangements and the parts, and certainly we're going to be working. I'm going to be asking you lots more questions over this coming year as we get this show together.
Oh yeah, man!
Including probably trying to steal one of your students to maybe actually play in the show. Well, I need one of those too.
Well, it's very fun. The songs are great, and really so clever and so singable. Like stick in your head in a good way, and really fun. So I've got maximum, like, so much respect for, especially for people like you writing cool songs. I mean, shoot, I literally texted John while the intro song was on, like, man, this song is so awesome. Like, what a great tune. It's so fun. So yeah,
the guy I work with, Joel, had never heard that song either before. And he comes on I worked this morning. He's like, dude, I heard your song about the Ballad of John Baker. It's incredible. He's like, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, yeah, I don't talk to you about these things. Like, I keep the money separate from my life, sometimes,
Wait a second.
Sometimes.
This is the guy you work with?
Yeah, he had no idea. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, because a lot of what you do is write and sing
I know. It makes no sense. It made no sense to me either, but so we heard what Will's doing right now. He's playing in the opera and in the Joffrey Ballet and all over the place. But John, you just moved to California, so I want to catch up with you. You have a new house. You what are you doing? You got a new business called Intentional Performance.
Yeah. Well, so I after I left after 2020, when I left the Cubs to work for the Pirates, I got a ton of great experience in baseball, kind of on the other side. I had never had any management experience. I'd always been, when I was working for the Cubs, I was really doing what I love to do, which is work one-on-one with people and help them solve the problems that they're dealing with so that they can perform better. And that was, I think, honestly, it's funny because, you think about the title of the song, but I think a lot of that was cultivated as a backup catcher. That was my kind of, when you're in that position as a baseball player, you kind of walk the line between playing and coaching. And when you're catching, you have a pitching staff that you've got to get to know really well, because the most important thing you can do is put them in a position where they're really convicted in what they're doing. That's what I always thought led to execution for those guys. It doesn't necessarily matter what finger you put down, or nowadays what button you push. It matters if you believe that it's going to work. And so to do that, you've got to cultivate really kind of good and close relationships. And so, after I left the Cubs, I got to lead the player development department for the Pirates. And it was really fun. It was a ton of stuff to learn. But it was management. I was, for the first time in my life, I was telling players they were released or making staffing decisions. And that's not very fun over time. It starts to suck more and more every single year. And I remember when when I took the job and I talked to the Cubs about leaving, Theo told me, before he had left the Cubs, he said, look, only do this for 4 years, because you're going to kill yourself if you keep going beyond that. And he was right. I was getting kind of numb to the baseball stuff. So then I spent a year in performance with the Pirates, and then I kind of realized after that year that 24 years of professional baseball, I've always had somebody else dictate my schedule. I've always had a bus time to get on, and I miss being home. My sister's kids are growing up. Will's kids are growing up. My mother-in-law's getting older. My parents are closer to here, and you have to start to reevaluate your life and what you want to do. And so in doing that, I said, okay, here's what I love to do, and this is where I want to do it. And we kind of just packed up and shipped ourselves across the country.
And I shared the link in the chat to your new website, which is baker-hq.com. And the thing that caught my attention as soon as I went to your site is this stat on attention, which is that the average attention span is 47 seconds, down from 2.5 minutes like 20 years ago, which doesn't surprise me in the least. So is that something that as you worked with younger players that you noticed changing over the course of you moving through your career, that there was
it's changing for everybody. It's changing for everybody. The technology that we use is the attention economy is an $800 billion a year industry. The devices that we have to interact with to live life, it's somebody's fault, are likely play a big factor in that number, just the way stuff is delivered. It's never been a more interesting time to be alive. There's never been more information coming in at one time. And at the same time, having all this experience that I had working with people, particularly in performance, what you start seeing is that there are things that are trainable that you can actually do. When nobody knows, when someone says mental skills, nobody tends to know what you're talking about. They think like, well, what does that mean? Is that like, I'm going to have a conversation with you and you're going to feel better? No, it's not. That's not what it means. Conversations are part of it, and making sure that people feel seen and heard so they can express what they're going through so you can design programs. But it's training. Like, how do you practice? What can you practice away from baseball that you don't need equipment for? And how can you set that up so that you're doing it, like with purpose on purpose? I'm preparing for something. When we play in a baseball game, or when Will has to play a challenging piece on stage, anytime we're performing something and we're nervous and we care about it, we kind of transition from the rest and relax and into fight or flight. And the question is, like, are you prepared for that? Have you prepared yourself for that? Can you check in with yourself? Can you point yourself in the right direction? And then after that, can you learn from that experience? And so the thing that I see so much about this kind of field and this space is everybody seems to think that it's like therapy. And I think about it a lot more like weightlifting or something, where it's like, okay, all of the evidence says that we have less of an attention span than we did 20 years ago. Is there ways to train attention? Yes. Have people studied this and proven it in high pressure populations? Yeah. Yes. Is it a huge time cost, or, do you have to do things for hours and hours? No. There's a small minimum effective dose, and it's just part of the training program. So that's how I think about it. And that's what I help people with. The first job I got with the Cubs in 2016 was in baseball operations, but essentially what they wanted me to do was serve as like an organizational mentor. I was just come off the field playing, so I didn't have the stress of all that, but I understood and I felt what those players were going through. I played the year before in 2015, and my playing career ended. And in doing that, in seeing the value that I felt, or like the validation that I felt when I would spend time with people, see them change some of their behavior, start preparing in a certain way, and see them take off. They're doing it, not me. I'm just introducing them to the ideas and saying, hey, look, here's a thing that works for the thing that you're dealing with. If you can try this and train it consistently, and this is why we call it mental skills. It's a skill if you can practice and get better at it. If you can't do that, then it's nothing. And if you're just hoping that like the pep talk from your coach every 3 months is going to be the thing that's going to be effective for you to change how you process your performance, or how you play, or how you focus under pressure, then I think you're just kind of winging it with there. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and that's what I try to do. So my work now is a combination of kind of mentorship in the baseball space, and then helping people design a training program so that they can be themselves more often when the game is on the line.
Now, is this mainly geared towards sports, or are you doing sports and kind of
business or
business? Yeah, anything that people can get into. I mean, obviously, you come from a sports background, and that's going to be your wheelhouse. But is it available for other people?
Yes, absolutely. I just got a client here that's a chef and like a restaurant operator, and as we were talking through his experience, one of the things that we realize just how similar all of this stuff is. And I think that's another part too, you know. And I don't want to pull us down into a rabbit hole about data in baseball or sound like Grandpa Simpson shaking his fist.
Well, you're on the right show for that, though.
Oh,
but you know, we overcomplicate so many things. We over intellectualize and we overthink so many things. And one of the I think the sports are such an easy entry point because you're playing at a speed in sports where you too much thinking is a problem. You know, getting caught up, getting hooked by that thinking is an issue. And the more you think about what people are actually going through, and I talked about that kind of when you go from rest and relax to fight or flight. This is a very specific time, you know, and sports provide that for us. But if we don't have sports, you know, we're human beings, so we're going to figure out how to stress ourselves out. We're gonna gravitate towards drama because we like that. We kind of like that feeling. So a long way of saying the same things that apply for sports performance apply to anything somebody could care about that freaks them out a little bit. I think is the plainest way of saying it.
This is amazing because literally in the last 2 days, I have told my kids they've been moving some stuff back to the house, like out of their apartment into the house for the summer and all this stuff. And I've literally just been telling them, "Oh, you're just making it too hard."
Like, simplify, stupid. Yeah,
you need to do what you want to do right now versus you keep telling me these 4 things that are keeping you from doing it. It's so
I know
funny.
Will can probably appreciate this too because as a musician, you know, you have to play everything in the moment. And I actually did one of your kind of meditation, like the focus is on your website. You have these like 3 different tracks where you can it's not a guided meditation, but it's more like a guided focus exercise or something like that.
Attention training. You're training your attention.
Training your attention training. And so I did that. And then what it did was sort of taking that moment to be like, keep focusing on one place. And when I went back to play the piano, my brain was calm enough to do it because otherwise my mind will wander and think about, oh, you just screwed up that you didn't hit the F sharp. You hit the F instead, you idiot, you know, and then you just destroy yourself in the moment. You're like, well, it's just going to get worse from here if you keep thinking this way. But so I know, Will, you can probably appreciate that from the hard music you've got to play.
No, definitely. The same exact style of training, John actually shared with me while he was still working with the Cubs, a similar sort of guided meditation that he's now kind of redone with his own in his own way that I listened to tons of times as I, you know, was preparing for auditions and so now I've listened to it so many times that now, like within 5 seconds of turning it on, it's a 15-minute thing. I'm just immediately like everything is just reset. It's like I'm so deeply programmed to connect to it. And hopefully I didn't just get moved around. But I find that it just, you know, no performance is perfect. You know, obviously we're going for a certain perfect thing that I've like imagined. And I've like rehearsed and to, you know, try to match these people and balance with this and come in on time and all the things. But there's all these moving, you know, all these variables that are moving. And so you're just really doing your best. And it allows you to, or by building up those trainings, it allows you to, no matter what happens, you can get back on track, you know, because you're really again, you're never going to be able to be focused on the one thing for the whole time. The training really happens when you wander away and you come back, and then you wander away and you come back. And over the course of an opera, multiple hours, there's so many times where your brain wants to wander away. And if you've practiced coming back, you can do it more quickly. And then, you know, even if you screwed something up, you know, it only takes 1 second to get back in the zone and make the next note great and get right back on track. And so, especially in audition too, man, when like a potential career or life-changing moment is on the line, the people that tend to win auditions are the people that can get right back on track the fastest
and stay calm probably. And never let them see you sweat kind of thing. And, you know, just
stay focused,
stay relaxed, stay focused, stay relaxed, stay in your place. Well, I want to get a little bit into that game that we're celebrating tonight in 2014, which is the night that you pitched, which I believe I'm right in saying that was the only time you pitched in your career, or did you pitch in the minors at all ever?
No, that was it. That was it. That's the only time. That was, let's see, 4 years after Tommy John surgery. Probably explains why I was thrown so hard. But yeah, no, that was the only time I pitched. I was a pitcher coming up. That was my only scholarship offer, actually, or like partial scholarship offer when I was coming out of high school, was to pitch. But I never liked it. I never liked it as a player. I like playing defense, and then I really grew to love. The thing I miss most about playing baseball was catching. That was my favorite thing to do by far, especially at the end, because you like catching a lot more when you hit 190 in the big leagues. You really like the other part of the game. I think more than that part.
Sounds like
but
me.
Yeah, no.
I'm important. Trust me.
I remember, to start this off, I remember I would pay attention a lot to our pitchers, and so I would look and be like, okay, so he's been up 3 days in a row. He's pitched 3 days in a row, but he's been up 4 days in a row. So I kind of I would always think about it in terms of who's coming in next. How are they going to do this? I was interested in the tactics of the game. And so I remember in that game, right around the 11th or 12th inning, I started looking at it, and I kind of knew, I don't know, deep down, that I was going to pitch in that game, because I think Rondon it was either Rondon or Strope was totally down.
Strope pitched in the game. Rondon was down because he had pitched 2 days. He had pitched the last 2 days.
I knew he was not going to pitch, and as I was watching kind of the pace of the game, those things can be. Well, this will probably never happen again because of the run around second base and stuff now. But man, extra inning games are hard. Free baseball is fun for all except for those generally on the field, because you kind of build up energy to you get used to 9 inning games, over and over again, and then man, you get pushed extra, and it starts getting later, and thank God it was in the summer, so it was warm enough. We're playing in May would have been incredible.
April.
Oh my God,
you would have been frozen.
We used to have. In the old Wrigley dugout, we had these cylinder heaters, and I think we played a game in May that year that was the coldest game in Wrigley in May ever, or something, temperature-wise. And my catcher's gear, I had put it underneath the dugout, and it was right next to this old school cylinder heater that looked like a rocket, shot a flame out of it. And when I brought my bag in, unzipped it, I realized I melted half my catcher's gear. We had to replace it. But anyway, back to this game. So this game, I kind of see that it's going to happen, and I also at the same time know when you're in the role that you're in, you're doing a lot of this kind of social coaching and working when you're in that position. It's an important part of the position that, or being on a team, being somebody that doesn't play all the time, that can be there's stuff for you to do. Is my point. So I knew that I was the most expendable person on there. Hey, if I got hurt pitching, who cares really? You just call somebody else up. I think Eli Whiteside was in AAA, great catcher, had caught no hitters and caught in the World Series. So they have a real replacement. And Eli was actually up with us, I think, earlier or later that year.
Yeah, he played in 2014.
Right, and managers do get worried about that, right? Because I think a lot of fans just think, oh, well, sure, these guys throw. They just go out there and throw. And if they have to pitch, it's the exact same thing. That's a completely different situation, right?
You're throwing down a hill. Yeah, you're throwing down a hill. And I was throwing 75 miles an hour. I had no idea how sore I was going to wake up the next day. And
that's pretty fast.
Not my arm. My arm wasn't sore. The rest of my body,
your legs, and your back
was my my lat. I'm the whole side of my body was sore from going downhill. And then of course we played an extra inning game the next day that I caught. But yeah, so I knew I was expendable. I knew I was probably going to be the one to go in. And that made the game a whole lot more interesting for me.
Well, at 1 a.m. it did. Yeah. When you finally came into the game, but because I rewatched the end of that game, and there was a play where you could tell Wellington Castillo I think he had caught the entire game right up until that point. And so there was a foul ball which was like right by the dugout, by the Rockies dugout, and he just kind of didn't get there. And JD, you hear him say on the broadcast, he's like, "Oh, you got to catch that," and then he's like, then he rethought it because JD's a player too. He's like, it's the 16th inning. There's fatigue happening. Like he doesn't know his name anymore. Like Wellington Castillo has caught 300 pitches tonight. He is not. Because what people don't remember is that the first 4 innings of that game was 2 hours. You know, it took forever. Edwin Jackson was a slow worker, and it just the game dragged back in the day when you could step off and step out and all that stuff.
No pitch clock. No, just wear it. Everybody out there. We're gonna
and rain delays
40 seconds. Yeah.
There are a couple rain delays.
In that one, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe. No. Oh, maybe it was just a long game.
No, we just slogged it for 6 hours.
It was tied. It was tied by the 4th inning, and it just nobody scored from that on in for another 12 innings, and it just, you know. And then finally, John, you scored, and you gave us the heroic fist pump in the air, which I have the original bobblehead right here. That commemorates that. As you can see, mine is authentic because you're missing a fist. That's how you know it's a real one. Because
mine is authentic because he's got a little. You can't see it on the camera, but he's got a wristband, is what it looks like, because I glued it back on.
All the fists broke, and so. But
I still have a couple in pristine condition. They're packed tight so they don't break.
Well, and I have like 3 of these behind that one that were all and I think this one says "fuck the DH."
the one that you wrote on. Yeah, I meant to send you more of these. I just kind of ran out of time. But so that was your night. You had a very successful evening. I had a less successful evening. I'll show you a couple pictures that survived from that night because I barely survived the night. There's me and a blurry picture of me out in front of the ballpark with Billy Cub.
Oh, Billy Cub.
Yeah, remember Billy Cub?
Clark.
Hey, Clark. That was the guy that really wanted to be the mascot. There's the Captain Morgan's club that we were shut out of because we were out smoking cigarettes like idiots. And that's what happened to me. At midnight, they shut it down. We were going into Captain Morgan's club, chugging a beer in the top of the inning, then going back in the bottom of the inning, which you could do at the time to see if the Cubs would win. And they, you know, and the game kept going. We go back in, drink a beer, go back out because Captain Morgan's could stay open.
And they quit selling in the ballpark.
In the ballpark, but at Captain Morgan's, you could
start
drink
the 8th inning. So, you know, you're 8 more innings in.
Yeah. So anyway, I was out having a cigarette and they shut it down. And I didn't hear it. So they didn't let me back in after like maybe the 14th or something like that. We tried to get back in, but instead me and my friend Dave were like just taking pictures with something sleeping in front of the ballpark. Then this poor guy who I made take a picture with me, one of the Wrigley Field employees. I'm obviously 3 sheets to the wind in this picture. And then I woke up the next day and wrote that song. Just kind of woke up inspired to write that song. And I think what happened after that was your dad found the song. I think he was the first one that found it and was like, you wrote a song about my son pitching in a game. And you came back in 2015 and we met at Cubs convention. And I was like, hey, you want to throw an event? You know, and you're like, sure. What the hell? So like, it's kind of crazy. The kind of stream of events that can happen from one crazy night, you know?
Well, I think about how ridiculous the whole game was itself. And then like, just when I think about Chicago and I think about Cubs fans, you know, and you guys in particular, like that crew out in the bleachers. I've always thought about like how incredible that you guys took something that was just like, interesting because of its randomness and turned it in a way to help other people out. You know, I think that's not to get overly sentimental, but that's to me, that is by far the coolest part of all of this. You know, this isn't, when we look at baseball now, you know, like we want to market star players. They want the flash, and now we have red carpets and stuff at the All-Star game. But like, for me, that's never, I mean, I was never good enough to go on the red carpet at the All-Star game, but at the same time, that's not what baseball's about. You know, like you hear stories about baseball, I think back to, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the story of, oh yeah, we've heard it before. Bob Kendrick tells about Satchel Paige pitching against the Coors team and having the whole infield and outfield sit down, and he strikes out the side. Nobody even touches the ball. And you hear that story, and then you go, we have no idea who won the World Series that year, or who the best player in Major League Baseball was. But you remember that because that's what baseball is about. It's about the people, not only on the field, but the people at the game. And Wrigley has always done it better, I think, than everywhere else.
Yeah, and Cub fans kind of it's a huge fan base. We play right in the middle of the city, so there's a lot of people just hanging out at the ballpark, and that's different than other. Pittsburgh's kind of like that too. People hang out downtown there, but that wasn't the case for many, many years. And so, and I do have to shout out Corey from Ivy Envy. He sent in a video, which I'll play in a little bit, but I got some pictures from like that first John Baker Day. And there's Lauren Blonde Wonk. I'm hiding behind the W flag because the Cubs won that game big time. There's Crawley standing there in the bleachers. And this is, I think, is the second John Baker Day, which if you see, we went with our Cardinals fan friend Dennis, who wasn't – I don't remember if we won the game or not, but we had a huge crew there in the right field corner. We raised money for a family one year, the Knoll family. If you remember, they were in a car accident. And we helped the father recover, help that family get back on their feet after a bunch of lost wages. We had John Baker Days where we hung out at G-Man Tavern and had panels. You see Luis and Sarah Sanchez. And then you see this is the first John Baker Day. You see Will there on the stage playing his blue trombone.
The blue trombone.
And, it's right over there. Now it's the one that my 3-year-old can pick up and play whenever he wants.
And nice. I'm playing the acoustic. There's my wife, Nicole, and Aljan, our bass player, who now is back in Serbia, actually. He's Serbian. And there's a kind of a who's who of people. There's Crawley, Evan, Andy, Kurt, Brett Taylor, and Matt Kammer. You see Katie Day in the background. And I see that John's dad is here in the chat right now. Dad listening on the 405 freeway.
Hopefully he's not driving. Yeah,
old catcher. Catcher. And
he's texting and driving right now. Just to let you guys know that he loves you.
Yeah, but I do want to say,
driving and watching.
Len Casper had mentioned your dad on the broadcast that evening because I guess your dad would tweet at the broadcast a lot, and they would bring him on. I didn't even know that was happening, but they mentioned him when you came out to pitch. They said, "I hope he's still watching." Was he? Was he still up?
Probably.
Watching?
Pretty likely.
Well,
I think he would have been California, right?
Late.
Yeah.
Yeah, California. It was still 11:30.
I was in Chicago. I had gone to sleep. I didn't find out about it until the next morning.
Yeah, you were working at a gym, right?
Yeah, I had to open up the gym at like 5 a.m. So I woke up, rode my bike to the gym, open up, get the stuff going, flick my phone on to see what happens.
Please say the name of that place because it's my favorite. It's my favorite name of all time of a gym.
It is No Limits in Andersonville.
It's my favorite name.
Yeah, nothing
No
Limits.
Like
no, K-N-O-W.
No, okay. I see. Yeah, I guess I had to see it.
I just thought it was N-O-N-O.
It's the most confusing name.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I flicked open my phone to check the MLB thing, and I was like, oh, they won. What? And I was like, I thought I was hallucinating or something because it was like 5 a.m., and I probably didn't get enough sleep. But sure enough, then I started watching highlights. I was like running around the gym. People are coming in. It's still dark. I'm like, did you see what happened in the Cubs game? This is crazy. But I'm sure Dad was awake. I'm sure he was watching. He was probably tweeting at the broadcast till the end.
Well, yeah. And we actually mentioned this and talked about it a little bit right before the show started. That night was weird. That game was weird because for some reason the Chicago Cubs Twitterverse and just everybody locked in on that game.
Yeah, we were all just watching it, and everybody kind of remembers where they were for that one. Strangely, in 2014, it was one of those. It was very transitionary year. People were starting to tune in. The team was starting to get excited. And John, I don't know if you know this, but you caught a couple of strays in the Lovable Reunion podcast at the Chicago Theater, where people were talking about you, basically recognizing talent early on, like seeing Jake Arrieta. You're like, this shit is nasty. He's got some nasty stuff. This is going to be good. This team's going to be good soon, and seeing kind of what they were building. And when I go through and count, and there's a question about this in the Are You Smarter Than John Baker, which Crawley's going to come on in 2 seconds and challenge you. But there were 11 players on the 2014 team that were huge role players on the 2016 team. So that's a fair amount of the team right there.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see it happening. You could see it happening in spring training when you look at some of the younger players. But I will never. I mean, I remember catching Jake in spring training, and I'm like, what? Like, what is that? Like, what? I've never seen anything like that before. I've been playing baseball professionally now for like 12 years, catching all the time, all these different guys through different organizations. And like, I'd never seen anything like that before,
Now, are you specifically talking about that slider that just ran to the other side of the street, or all his pitches?
All of them. Like, it didn't matter. One of my favorite stories about Jake is, the first time I caught him was in May of that year. It's just funny too, because what I mentioned on the mound to him referenced my brother. But so we got to play the game, and he just keeps shaking from the very beginning, like over and over again. And he's wanting to throw a fastball. And so anyway, I went out to the mound and I was like, hey man, like, what are you doing? Like what, like, and Jake's a smart guy, but like, he'd kind of, back to what we talked about earlier, probably overthought it a little bit. He's set up this by doing that, and I go, this is like, for me, I go, your shit is like playing a video game. I'm like, it is. I have never seen anything like this. Like, they're not going to hit it. Why don't you let me just push the buttons, or I'm going to do what I did to my little brother and pull the controller out and just say sorry. Like, you're done. You're done. I'm going to play the rest of this game. But he was so good. And then, I talked to him. I remember being on a plane flight with him later, and we were talking about why. I wanted to know why. I'm not confrontational or something with pitchers. Like, I always wanted you as a pitcher, if you had something really like locked into your mind before I put a sign down, like, I demanded that you shake to that, because I believe that you're going to execute it. But man, we had Mike Borzello. Like, we did so much work to be prepared, and everything was tailored to the strengths of the guys that we were working with. And so, I could remember that's your job. Your job is to get them through the lineups. And I asked him, and I was like, what were you thinking? Because, in Baltimore, they taught me that I got to throw my fastball to the top of the strike zone, and I got to establish the fastball early. And I go, Jake, it's the big leagues. Like, you don't have to. You already established it by getting here. Like, you need to figure out which pitches are working, because all of them are good, and then you just need to throw the ones that are the nastiest that day over and over again. They're not going to hit. They're not going to hit it. They're not going to hit it. There was more often that year, and I remember actually Miguel Montero. We were playing the Diamondbacks, and one of the first times it ever happened to me in my life catching, but he threw one of those cutters, and it went like straight down at 92 miles an hour, and Miggy swung and missed, struck out, and he turned around and he went like, what the hell was that? And I go, I don't even know. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know. I called cutter, but it was like a curveball at like 90. I don't know what that was. I'm glad I caught it, honestly. But yeah, he was impressive, and you saw it through the rest of the thing. You saw Chris Bryant in spring training. I remember the first bat I saw KB take. He's a minor league player that year, but he's in camp with the Cubs, and we were playing in Tempe at Tempe Diablo Stadium. And when you come out of the game early there, you have to kind of go up around the concourse to leave to get to the cars. They have the players park their cars like down the right field line. And so we had showered, and we were changing, and we were walking around this way. And I was up above, like behind home plate when KB came to hit. And I watched him have like a 12 pitch at bat, and then hit one over the batter's eye. And then we would always hear, I had friends that were in AAA with the Cubs that we were in spring training with, and they were calling me and telling me all about this guy. And then Javi came up.
A couple weeks later after the Maker game. I think it was maybe 2 weeks afterwards, something like that.
And the thing that struck me most about Javi was not, obviously had huge power, and he was kind of like wild swing and miss and stuff. But, we had a game where he called timeout at shortstop and ran to the mound, and we went out to the mound, and he basically like organized a back pick to get this pitcher out of the inning. And when you play with somebody like that and you realize like, okay, that's the most talented defensive player on the field by far, and he knows it, and he also wants the ball. That's a huge upgrade, and his versatility early on with them, being able to kind of play everywhere. And then, you think about the additions that they brought in. They had like a really strong base. Rizzo had become a star. Hendricks was getting really good. Arrieta was getting really good. The bullpen was starting to look really good. You had the reemergence of Chris Coughlin that season, who had already won the National League Rookie of the Year when he was healthy, another really, really good player. And then, man, you start to sprinkle some of these guys in over the next couple of years, and here comes Fowler, and here comes Lackey, and the attitude.
Lester, yeah.
Here comes Lester and Ross as that package that comes in, and you have essentially another major league manager as one of the catchers. I spent a whole lot of time in 2016 on his way up with Wilson Contreras, who was coming too, and just like won a batting title in A-ball. It was really, really an impressive really, really impressive base of talent that they built. And then you look at what was supplemented and what was added to it. Wild, but that's where it started. It was like in September of that year, I think the players there that were the young kind of core started to realize how good they were.
So there are two games. There are two games I remember in the 2014 season. It's the John Baker Day game, and then it's also what Ivy Envy called the Labor Day Massacre, when on Labor Day the Cubs absolutely destroyed the Cardinals. I think Soler hit one. I think Soler hit one so far over into the seats that it hit like, I don't know, somebody. It
was like past Big Macland or something like that.
Like somebody serving hot dogs got hit with that ball or some shit.
In the parking lot. Somebody tailgating outside. Got hit.
But they destroyed them. Those are the only two games that you can remember, from that
game that Javi came up and hit that
at Oppo homer in Colorado.
That was
that's the night I met this guy.
That was an amazing game.
I was at the game. I was at the game and met this guy.
I may only remember it because that was the night that Danny and I met.
Yeah. So before we make him wait in the stupid green room any longer, I want to bring on our good friend Crawley, who's going to participate in this trivia contest that we have. Crawley, welcome to John Baker Day Extravaganza. How you doing?
Oh, you iced me. You iced me for the competitions. I need John Baker to give me some mental skills.
You're a little quiet. You're a little quiet.
I'm going to turn you up. I got him turned up a little bit.
Okay.
Can we hear you?
Crawley, you are going to win this. I promise.
We'll see. I mean, you were literally there, John. So,
I know, but
so anyway, Crawley, you didn't ask me a question. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to hear these stories. And John, I don't know if you have listened at all to the Lovable Reunion podcast, but as Danny mentioned, you're brought up on that a bunch of times. Rizzo brings you up like every 3 episodes. And I'm like, John Baker every time, man. It's just great.
But I need to reach out to that guy, man. Like we go back before. I don't know if anybody knows this. We go back before the Cubs days. We were Toros del Este teammates when he was still a minor league player with the
Dominican.
He had this really. You remember when he got called up? He had this really stupid stance where he was like. His hands were all like
a Craig Counsell situation.
Yeah, it was very bad. But fortunately for Tony, he figured it out.
Yeah, I love your story about the rosary that you tell. I'm actually going to play it later on. In John Baker Day 2020, you had that story about being riding the bus, and Rizzo said he's going to get himself a rosary at the bus stop.
He got it at the gas station. Yeah.
Yeah, and when he hits a home run next, he's going to swing it around his head, and everybody loved it. And man, talk about a guy who like led that 2016 team. Sorry to cut you off, Crawley. Where were you going?
I was going to ask though, John. You mentioned Mike Borzello, and I don't think Cub fans understand how important he was to the organization and to the game planning. And it was interesting to hear him on the Lovable Reunion podcast and then how much all the players respected him and how prepared he was. What was it like working with Borzello?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I love. I mean, Mike is going to tell you the truth. Boris is going to tell you the truth. He's not going to pull any punches. He's like been around for too long to BS anybody, because he's got. He's building a game plan every single day, and he put in so much time and effort. And after that too, Tommy Hotovy was around as well. He wasn't the pitching coach yet. He was still kind of like when I was still playing, he was like an assistant. But here's how good Borzy is. So I was kind of like mentored early in my career by Jason Kendall on like how to prepare for a game. I was a minor league player with the A's. He was the major league catcher for Oakland, and he is one of the most, if not the most, like well respected of that position. Just because, I mean, when I think about Jason, if you go look on Baseball Reference at like the most games ever caught in baseball history, he's like 6th or 7th, but he's played like 7 or 8 less years than everybody else. And he was super prepared. It's crazy. He was catching 155 games a year.
That's
insane. Super prepared, and he like kind of walked me through. Hey, when I got called up, we actually met. He was playing in Milwaukee, and he had me meet him before a day game, and he kind of like walked me through his process. Like, here's how I go through the system. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's how I do this. Here's how I do that. This is what I look for here. It was incredible. I literally took notes. And so I built my own kind of process of like how I would watch the video and how I would prep for the game, and like how I would think about that relative to the guy that was pitching. And Jason made a big point to like be able to be checked in on that person as well, to see like what kind of vibe are you getting from this guy? How do you need to be his partner, his jockey in a lot of ways in these situations? But it would require a ton of video work. I mean, I used to get to the ballpark at like, if I was catching, or even if I wasn't catching, usually I was at the ballpark at like 11:30 or 12, and the first hour and a half was spent doing homework, basically on making sure that this game plan is ready and writing it down, so on and so forth. So I get to the Cubs, and I maintain my process. I don't want to mess anything up, but I'm maintaining that process. And then I would go sit in these meetings, and Borzy would start talking, and I would go, "Oh, this is like what I did, but like better. This is even better. There's a couple things that he's throwing in here that I didn't think I should care about, but knowing what I know now, after you're exposed to that, you go, wow, this is really, really incredible." So essentially, for a lot of the players, for the catchers in particular, like he was cutting off like an hour and a half of the work that you would have to do, and like delivering it in a way that was understandable, that you could go out and apply it. And it was just so smart. He didn't need all of the new, there's a lot of new pitch metrics out there that when you put them in a model will project how they're going to work. Mike did it in a very analog way, through like blood, sweat, and tears, and long nights and late nights. And, he was there in your corner, and you knew you could always look to him. And I believe they talked about Montgomery's curveball. But that's what he was like. Like you could look into the dugout, and he would go like he'd make a little motion like, "Hey, we got slider here all day," and you believe that, I believe that, the pitcher believed that, and I think he was a huge part of that team's pitching success.
That's what was brought up, is that when they went to Mike Montgomery in 2016 for the final out, everybody's kind of, who? Wait, what? Who are we calling in for this? And I guess Lester and Ross were panicking, and they run up to Borzello, and Borzello said, just like you just said, "We got curve. We're good. We got
curveball." Yeah.
And it's just 2 curveballs. And so Miggy, I guess, wasn't used to catching Montgomery. So Miggy looked in, and same thing. Borzello just shows in like that.
Curveball.
And then all of a sudden, that the first pitch is a foul ball, and all of a sudden Miggy looks in again. He's again 5-3.
I mean, it's yeah, and you trusted him, man. And like when you can offload like that level of work on somebody else because you trust that, then you can invest that other time either in like recovering yourself, or like just being present and around the people on your team, which is a huge important part of trying to achieve something together as a group can be really challenging. And we know that there's a lot of pressure, and people take it hard, and there's sleepless nights because of baseball. And so that more social connection, more human time, which was so much what Joe is about as a manager as well. I think he was another incredible addition to that organization. I mean, Mike made that possible despite being the grumpy curmudgeon that
you need one of those, though.
Pissed about everything all the time, no matter how well we did. It was never good enough, but everybody loves him.
He was the Michael Cotton of the 2016 Cubs.
Yeah,
He's the designated hitter.
The designated hater,
hater.
right?
There we go.
One last thing, I just jumped on a little bit before, and I don't know if you talked about Dr. Ken Ravizza and what kind of impact
We didn't.
he
I
had.
was just going to bring that up. Actually, good call,
I'm sorry,
Carly.
Danny. I jumped it. Sorry.
No. That I was. That's.
No,
I was
perfect
like,
timing.
we haven't talked about Ken yet, and you're thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Whew. I mean, so I had one conversation with Ken Ravizza early on that just completely changed how I looked at everything that I was doing. And I haven't written somewhere on that website, but I was so fortunate to be kind of moving into this like mentorship style position, and then literally having access to the best to ever do it in baseball. And Kenny was obviously, he was getting up there in age, but I asked him, I'm like, how do I do this well? And his response was always telling me about all the things that he screwed up. That's the kind of person that he was. It was like, here's the traps to avoid, and then you'll be able to find your own way. But he said that the biggest mistake we make in baseball is we think that we're working with baseball players. And he's like, Bake, you have to stop right there. We're working with people that play baseball. And so if you don't talk to the person first, if you don't get to know that person first, then none of it matters. He's like, treat everybody like there's somebody coming out of the pen, and I'm like, okay, now I understand what you mean.
That's really funny that you say that, because there have been, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 different episodes of the Lovable Reunion where Rizzo says the exact same thing. In the conversation, they're just having a conversation, and he says, yeah, don't talk to these guys about what they need to do before you talk to them as a human being. Find out who they are, be a human being, have a good, it's all about communication, right?
It's all about seeing people as people, like we're not what we do, we're who we are. And who we are isn't what we do. And the more we can build an environment like that, then if you think about it, if I see you as a person and not how you just performed last night, then it's going to be easier for you to extricate your own like identity out of what just happened, because you're a separate person from that thing. We're getting a little philosophical here. But
that's what
baseball players. But baseball players, think about like one of the great like analogies or metaphors. I don't know, somebody that's smarter in English can tell me which one I'm using, but is like to think about it like thinking about yourself like, Clark Kent is the regular person and Superman's the one who puts the uniform on. It's like a different thing. And so Clark can look and evaluate Superman's performance from a more detached perspective, and he can survive as a person, because we get so tied up in wanting to do well. And you think about like all the things that I said about how great like the baseball fandom in the north side of Chicago is also like the people on the field feel that, and it creates a greater level of expectation. They expect to win, and they feel, a lot of times in working with players in the past, you talk to these guys who literally felt like they were letting the fans down. Like that was the burden that they were carrying. And so helping see them as people and what they're going through, oftentimes it's not some mechanical fix that somebody needs. And I think that's where it's not, the answer isn't in the analytics about the pitch shape. The answer is probably somewhere else. And they did such a great job. And it's changed a lot over baseball over the last couple of years, but and Joe really tried to emphasize this, I think in 2019, maybe. But the idea that like, yes, there's science, but there's also art, and we have to appreciate the art part of it. And that's where the people come in.
Yeah. And seeing Joe back this last couple of weeks has been really beautiful to hear him speak and to philosophize, and just that cat moves to the beat of his own drummer, and it's missed. I missed Joe a lot. The game kind of moved away from him, it seemed, and unfairly, in my opinion. It's just like, they think they know better with, Jed GPT is what I call it. It's it's just,
they are smart. I will tell you, you go all over the place, any organization, those front offices, those people are really smart. But I think sometimes, when we're talking about sports, we can be so smart that we can outthink ourselves. Yeah. And I think Joe really saw that when I look back at like, I got to run the the pitcher's bunting station in 2016 in spring training. I was me and Darnell McDonald. We ran the pitcher's bunting station, which was essentially just a like $10,000 a day bunting competition between Lackey and Lester. That's essentially what it was. Like, putting pressure on these guys. But when I sitting in those meetings and hearing how he talked to the players about baseball, there was so much clarity on like what you were trying to do, and it was so simple. Now, obviously, it's hard and complex, and baseball is really challenging. But you're talking about a team that would like run one bunt play and then tell Rizzo or Baez like, just go make a play, and let them go figure it out themselves. Let them express their physicality and the things that they can do without having to overthink. 7 bunt plays and 6 different pickoffs at second base. No, play it straight up, play it loose, and have fun. And I never loved it, but when you think about like his advice to Javi Baez when he was a little nervous, like just try not to suck. It's like, have some fun, man. We're playing baseball, and we can't forget that that's how cool this is. And as we know from psychology, it's really hard to be grateful and anxious at the exact same time. And so when you can foster a culture like that, like they did, it leads to what we saw.
Yeah, it worked for me. I was at that game in 2016 when it finally came to fruition. So let's talk a little bit about some of these within the context of these trivia questions that I have. But speaking of AI, I made a little AI bumper, and it's terrible. We could do this. Gives me hope because I could do way better.
Are you smarter than John Baker?
Terrible. ChatGPT sucks. I don't know what the hell that is. It's just, the bobblehead looks great. That one actually has a fist intact. So I have 12 questions. We don't have to do them all. We're kind of running along, of course. But
as always.
Yeah, so there were 11 members of the 2016 championship team that played on the 2014 Cubs, but only 6 of them played in the John Baker game. Can you tell me who they were? You get a point for each one.
I would say I know Anthony Rizzo played in that. Jake.
I don't know if you guys want to answer this together or did we?
No, let's answer. Keep going.
Yeah.
Arrieta didn't play in that pitch in that game.
Yes, Jake pinch hit.
He pinch hit in the game. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Crawley, if you
dangerous. That was probably dangerous for a lot of reasons.
That's where we were in that game.
Chris.
He had huge power.
And there was
Chris
another
Coughlin
pitcher
was in
that pinch hit as well in that game.
Coughlin was
Travis
there.
Wood.
Yes, Travis Wood pinch hit as well. It's a long game.
Coughlin?
You needed everybody.
Cogs was there.
Coughlin,
I wore his glove. I wore Coughlin's glove.
When you went to pitch, because you
didn't have a
probably
regular
didn't
glove.
just have a
Yeah.
regular
Can't take
glove,
a-
did you?
No, can't take a catcher's mitt to the mound, so I needed a glove. So I had what was it? Coughlin's glove with Colossians on it. I don't know what the verse was, but I should probably look that up.
Yeah. You might say something about position players getting a W. I don't know, or throw as many curveballs as you can.
Justin Grimm.
Correct.
Oh yeah,
And
the Grim
there's
Reaper.
one more. We mentioned him earlier in the show.
Stroke.
Said,
Yep.
Stroke.
Yep, Stroke.
Yeah.
Stropey.
Pitched.
So good. That's and then Caesar, Baez, Soler, Hendricks, and Hamill all played on that team as well, even though they weren't all up all year. All right. There was one MVP playing in the John Baker game. Who was he?
Nolan.
He was an MVP.
Arenado? Was it Nolan?
Nope.
Nolan or Justin Morneau?
Justin Morneau. Morneau won
Morneau's
the
the first
MVP in 2006. So, all right. How long?
You're a little overmatched here, John.
Holy cow! Yeah. No, I remember it now though for sure.
He
How
played
long was
first
the game?
How long was the game? Do you know, John?
I think it was 6 hours and 27 minutes.
Correct. A game, and it started a little late too. It started 2 minutes late, and so it didn't end until 1:34 in the morning. There's that famous shot of the Wrigley clock at the end. Okay, what former 2004 and 5 Cubs pitcher pitched the 15th inning for the Rockies?
LaTroy Hawkins.
Correct.
Oh my god! How that had to be his like 20. second year in the big leagues or something like that. I
he
wonder if that's the
actually-
longest game he was ever a part of. It has to be.
Yeah, and honestly, I think he pitched for like 2 more teams after the Rockies.
Yeah, he did like incredible.
Yeah, he went to
Incredible career.
Toronto for the 2015 season. Yeah.
He was trying to
He
like
gave up
Julio
the
Franco.
Javi
it.
Baez.
I saw Julio Franco as a Met at the end of his career. And
He was,
I mean,
he was like 50.
yeah, he was like 50 years old. He was getting AARP mail at the clubhouse. It was crazy.
Well, and what's crazy is I saw Julio Franco in the middle of his career as a Met, I think.
Yeah.
I think he
Met
was
probably
like
3
with the
times.
Mets a few times.
I mean, I remember being a
LaTroy
child.
Hawkins
I
was-
believe he was a Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the AL West when I saw him.
Cleveland.
LaTroy
Yeah, he was
Hawkins gave up that home run in the game you guys went to against Javi Baez. in
Oh,
Colorado.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was LaTroy who
Um,
gave that up.
So, what former Rockies slugger who batted cleanup in the John Baker game finished his career with the Cubs in 2019?
2019 Cargo.
Yeah, Cargo.
Yeah.
Carlos
Yep.
Gonzalez, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado is the only Rockies player that played in the John Baker game who is currently on an active roster.
Wow.
There were a couple that kind of are holding on a little bit, right? He's the only one. But how many Cubs players that were on that played in that game are currently
Active major league roster.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
that played in the game.
I mean, shoot, Hendricks isn't even playing anymore.
No.
And he didn't play in the game either.
No.
Well, I mean, you
It's
just
gotta
have
be
to go
something
through
like
the
one
Cubs.
or two people.
I mean,
Somebody
it's,
is still playing.
Nobody is playing. It's a trick question.
Yeah.
It's
I was gonna
over.
say. It's
LeMahieu,
over. No
Ma-
way.
LeMahieu and Matzik, who took the loss in the game, played last
Yeah.
year. Tyler Matzik, they played last year. Tommy Conley pitched in Triple-A for the Red Sox in 2026, but he hasn't been up to the big squad. And the last thing Adam Ottavino did was pitch for Italy in the WBC. So
Yeah, what a career he had. Holy cow.
long
I remember
career.
Cub fans wanted it.
That guy threw a slider for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
All sliders.
So 2 lefty Rockies pitchers who pitched in the John Baker game ended their career with the Cubs. And this starter hung it up in 2018 and this reliever in 2021.
Travis
as
Woods.
Cubs.
Oh, man.
Rockies
Travis Wood?
pitchers. Rockies pitchers.
Rocky,
Rockies.
lefties.
Rockies.
Rockies lefties who ended up who pitched in the John Baker game, who ended their career as Cubs in the starter in 2018 and the reliever in 2021.
I absolutely I can picture the 2018 guy. Nasty stuff. Moved all over the place. That was
Rex Brothers.
Rex Brothers.
Rex Brothers.
That's the reliever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, you remember there was a song. I was with Rex. Rex was up that team. Yeah. I remember, I think Starlin Castro always singing, "Hey, brothers." Rex Brothers, sorry. The locker room. Rex Brothers, reliever.
How about the starter who hung it up in 2018
Matt Blau.
De La Rosa.
Yep.
Um,
Jorge De La
yeah.
Rosa.
Oh, Jorge.
Also
started-
nasty.
Who
Nasty.
started that's who I think Michael was thinking of, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he
that's
started
what
the
I was thinking
game. He started the game. And you know what? Now that my memory is being I'm snapping back. But I could also remember before that game looking at the thing and being like, oh God, this is going to be a long one because it's Edwin and De La Rosa, who was nasty, but did not throw a lot of strikes and everything was moving down and balls were bouncing and Edwin was the same way.
It was that was
PTSD,
meant to
thinking
be.
about-
That's why it felt weird. It's just these guys are pitching crazy. You know,
Yeah,
it's 2 hours.
You might get you might get 9. You might get 9 shutout from either of them, or they might throw 100 pitches in 3 1/3, strike out 8, and walk 7. That's those are your error bands with those two.
It's wild. You don't see that kind of thing in the modern game, in the last 4 years. You don't see that nearly as much.
the
no,
wild,
not at all.
Wild thing.
No.
Yeah.
You know how good
Yeah,
pitching is now? Pitching, it's so crazy. like it's so easy. I mean, it's not easy, but like it's so much easier now with the technology that you have to like. Let me just walk you through. So I just got done with this in player development, but like we would have the TrackMan, and that TrackMan is like connected to like a model that can tell you how, like, can estimate how well this pitch would play in the major leagues based on the components and like the guy's arm slot. And so you like stand there with the iPad and go like, hey, try putting a little finger pressure down. And then like they throw it and they're like 80 slider. Can you do that again? Yes, I can. Bam, bam, bam. Now he does it. Now they go out into the game and they strike 6 people out with the pitch they learned the day before, because you have a better target because of the data of what you're trying to do than you did before. And these guys are like bigger and stronger than they were 10 years ago. Like the training has also gone up. So it's like, it's so crazy. And finally too, there's more game theory going on. So you don't have like, 2-0 count, he's going to throw a fastball. No, 2-0 count. Now like half the team throws Arrieta's slider for a strike behind in the count. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch. And then the second part of that too, to what you're saying, is that the moment somebody has like 2 bad innings, everybody in the bullpen has nastier shit than the guy that started. So they're like, just get him out and bring in this other guy that we have that throws 102. He comes into the game now. So like, yeah, they're too smart to let somebody go out there and just like die on the mound. But back then they'd be like, all right, man, we got to get him. We're trying to figure out how do we get this guy through 5 innings so we can, or 6 innings so we can save the bullpen, 7 innings so we can save the bullpen. That methodology or that thought process is out. Everybody's like, how fast can we get to all these dudes that throw 100? And 2 years into their career, somebody else gets hurt. Great. There's 11 more of those guys in AAA.
Well, here's a question that I've been actually thinking about somewhat recently. And we're talking about pitchers. And we're talking about like, and I know it's not easier, like you said, it's not easier, but there's just so much more information. But on the flip side of that, do pitchers have an easier time with batters? Because it seems like there's a lot less variation in the types of batters. Is that a thing, or is that, or am I just like, that's in my brain?
Are batters being homogenized as well at this point?
It feels like all the batters are doing the same thing. So a pitcher doesn't have to figure out 9 different batters. He's just got to figure out 2 different batters, and it just happens to be 9 guys.
I mean, I've never thought about it that way. Like the way that I've always thought about this is that as we've had, so like pitching is proactive. You're playing target practice, so like you decide what you're doing ahead of time. Whereas hitting is like reactive. It's an open skill, and you're trying to intercept a ball with a bat and hit it in a specific like location. And we've taken the same approach across baseball to hitting as we have to pitching, which is like, yes, to your point, like, oh, here's the optimized swing path or something. But like the optimized swing path is the one that hits the ball hard, that on that pitch that they threw, not on an average of all pitches or something like that. So you see things like swing grades and stuff like that. And then the other thing that we've done is like, we've just flooded all of these guys with a bunch of shit to think about that doesn't actually matter when they're trying to hit. So they're up there with like 50 more things than they could possibly think about. I was talking to somebody the other day about my experience. Well, I got to see one of my buddies was a reliever in the minor leagues, and we were like road roommates, and he happened to be in town, and we broed out and went and worked out together. That was our 5-year reunion. We lifted weights because that's what we did when we were coming up. But hold on. Anyway, we flooded so much information into these guys' heads, and they're thinking about all of this stuff that is not just like hitting the ball. It's like we've created a problem that didn't exist before, when you have to be really simple in that thing to be able to do it. The question I always ask people is like, are you practicing a swing or are you training to hit? Because if you're training to hit, like you're in that environment, like where you don't know what's coming and the shit is really nasty and you're figuring out how to solve that problem in real time. But we're like telling people how to do it, and that doesn't translate the same way as it translates in pitching. I can tell you what to do. Put more finger pressure. Oh, yes, that's good. You have a check. You can't do the same thing with hitting. So I tell you, hey, focus on, you need to have your bat have a slightly more attack angle or something like that.
38 degrees instead of 34.
Yeah, the more I'm thinking about the more I'm thinking about trying to do that and how we're going to, I start thinking about my body. I start thinking internally. And when you look at all of the research in performance psychology in general, like Gabriel Wolf in particular, you realize that external cues in reactive, like learning and performing, are significantly outperform me thinking about my swing. And so we have so much information about the swing. Everybody, they know more about the swing than they ever did, but they're not solving the problem with the same amount of efficiency. And so going back to my buddy, we were talking because his kid's in college baseball now. And I was saying that, like, man, I didn't see myself swing a bat as a minor league player. I did not see myself. I saw it 2 times. First time I was playing in Tulsa, they televised that they played a replay of our game afterwards, and we all got pizza and we watched it. There was no video room to watch the game afterwards. The second time I was really struggling in AAA, and I got my dad's camcorder and I made my buddy videotape me from the side angle because I wanted to see what the hell it looked like because it felt so bad. And that was the other time I saw it. But I got called up to the big leagues without ever watching video of myself hitting. And so then you get there, and the bat system started to come in, and you could watch all of this video, and it's like, oh, well, if we made it's like the fallacy is that if we know more about it, we'll be able to do it more effectively. But knowing more about it actually just gives us more shit to think about when we're trying to do this thing that's super hard. And that's why I think I kind of point. It's not the only factor, but I kind of point towards that. So yes, we've like homogenized in a way what the perfect swing is, and then we've said, hey, this guy throws 102. Why can't you hit it? And I'm like, because knowing has nothing to do with it. Knowing has nothing to do with it. You have to practice, or else.
I thought that was interesting in the Lovable Reunion podcast when they had the hitting coaches, when they had John Maley and Eric Hinsky, and it seemed like John Maley just knew all the details to everything, but Hinsky did a really good job of kind of breaking it down into digestible pieces for the players.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Eric played for so long. And played in so many high pressure situations that he understood and saw how simple you have to keep the approach. And just hearing this too, that we've overcomplicated it so much. You think back to what Joe was screaming from the rooftops in 2016, which was just to do simple better. Like, do simple better. We're still playing simple baseball. Better.
Respect 90.
Yeah. It's easy. So do simple better. What does that mean? It means that there's plays that happen frequently, and we have to make sure that we master those things. Right? There's outlying plays, but there's things that happen most often. Can we be good enough at doing those 2 things? And respect 90 means like, just give your best effort. That's all we're asking that's all we're asking you. We're asking to memorize a bunch of stuff or run complex plays or do anything crazy. No, we've prepared. Mike Borzello's prepared you. Like, the catcher knows what to throw, build relationships and trust him. And Ski was taking, and Maley is incredible. I had him as a hitting coordinator with the Marlins, again, working with the Cubs. He knows so much about hitting, but that's the right kind of balance, is to have a player translator that when he goes through and starts breaking this stuff down for guys, Ski puts his arm around him and they're walking out. And he's like, yeah, bro, just get the head out. Just get the head out, or you're a little late. That's what I see. You're late and you're rushing, and that's why you're going backwards. Don't think about all of this stuff. Think about what we're going to do right now and get back to this moment. And he was also such an inspiring guy. He'd make fun of himself. He'd help you out. He was our first base coach. In 14, and like it's nice to have that around. It's nice to have somebody that understands what you're going through, that can help kind of translate some of that stuff, and then also coach up to the coaches that, like, look, this is significantly too much to put in front of this kid. Like, he's just been going up there looking for a pitch up and letting it fly, and that's what's effective. And now he's thinking about some other shit that has nothing to do with, that is a description of what he's doing, but has nothing to do with what he's actually doing
in the moment. Yeah. And that's kind of what we were talking about before with music, with it. You just have to be present at the time. You have to be on time for all this stuff. And if you're thinking about a million other things and not just flowing with the moment, you're probably not going to succeed. You will be late. You will be late to the moment if you're thinking about it. There's a guy I know for a long time. He's a singer. He's got a nice voice, but he likes hearing himself sing. So he's always late, because by the time you hear it coming out, you're already behind. So is it just always slightly? I'm like, is there an echo, or is that just him singing? Well, can we get back to a couple of these trivia questions? I love where we're going, but
probably already won. So, but keep going.
I got 4 more, and I think you'll get this next one. John, you were the only Cubs position player to pitch in 2014. Now it happens all the time. That's another thing that's changed a lot. But who was the only Cubs position player to pitch in 2016?
Ross.
Montero.
It was Montero.
Rossi pitched. When I think of Cubs, all I can think about is I don't know when it was, but it was Rizzo striking out Freddie Freeman. That's the
and that was
that's
it 2017 or
18, I think. But yeah,
that is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. One of the most.
What currently active catcher got the win? Currently active while pitching for the Mariners. This happened again. A year before joining the Cubs for only 3 games in early 20, or I think it's 13 games. I think I left off of one in early 2023. So catcher.
Was Bethencourt there?
Who?
Was Bethencourt in Chicago?
It was not Bethencourt. It barely played.
Bettencourt was in Chicago, I believe, but
2023, in 2024 he got the win as a catcher for the Mariners, and but he was with the Cubs in 2023. Or no,
This question's real complicated, man.
Sorry.
It's
It's Luis Torrens. We'll move on. It's
Luis Torrens.
Yeah. He pitched in the game, got the win. Okay. John, you led the Cubs pitching staff with a 0.00 ERA in 2014. But what Cubs pitcher appeared in 50 games and was second with an ERA of 1.44?
Samardzija?
No. 50 games. You're thinking it's either Stroke or
Sorry, you said
Rondell.
50 games. I wasn't listening.
What the fuck are you talking about?
50.
It's either
I
Stroke
lost
or
my mental
Rondell. I
skill.
think.
No.
No, it's neither of those two.
No.
50 games.
50 games. 20.
And had a what ERA?
How about James Russell?
1.44.
James Russell.
Good guess, but no. He had a really good year that year.
How do I not remember somebody having a 144 on our team? That's a ridiculous.
Because you don't remember the guys that do well. You only remember the guys that stink.
And you're not looking at their stats. You're looking at what they're doing every pitch.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset. Honestly,
you give up?
These little games
I give up.
Are so geared toward the fans.
Yeah.
Actual players fail so hard in these things.
Who had a 144?
All this shit.
Neil Ramirez.
Oh, dang it.
Neil Ramirez.
Yeah.
Dang it.
He had a good year.
I didn't realize he had 50. I didn't realize he had 50 appearances. He was the one where, like, I don't think he made the team out of spring training.
Maybe not.
I don't know that he made the team out of.
He did not pitch in that game. So he might have got hurt at some point. I'm not sure what happened.
He got hurt.
But yeah,
that was another one in the pen. That was another one in spring training where I was like, what, where did they get this? This is crazy.
Yeah. They were good at kind of identifying those arms. But Theo was excellent at it. I think that was him. Theo and Jed, I guess. Because Jed's continued that pretty well over the course of his time.
I mean, you think back to Clevenger and the Feldman, I think, for
Stroke and Arrieta.
Stroke.
Yeah, that's a hell of a deal. Cubs fans aren't used to being on the positive side of those kind of trades. It's not a thing that we do. PCA, pretty good trade, I'd say, too, at this point.
That's pretty
considering
impressive.
Javi's not a Met. Okay, John, you scored 9 runs in 2014.
Yes.
What other Cubs pitcher
near double digits
also scored 9 runs in 2014?
Had to be Woody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Travis Wood. He was a great hitter. He could hit.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to recognize when, like, you're a major league position player and then you're like, oh, the number 3 starter that's left-handed is better than I am. This guy didn't hit, but he takes BP like once every 2 weeks and he's like a legitimate major league outfielder.
Yeah. Now I think looking back, I wish they let him hit without a shirt on because it seems to give him extra special powers if he's just in a vest or something.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have him like on like one of those like Bananas style teams, like in a vest, like with like 10 beers, and let him go hit a home run somehow in the game.
I just saw the Bananas at Wrigley. They played, and this fun show. David Ross came out.
Zobrist came. What did Zobrist play too?
Zobrist
He rode his bike. Yeah, he rode his bike out of the right field gate.
It was good times.
Yeah.
All right, final question. Okay, we all know John Baker and the other John Baker, otherwise known as Dusty Baker, number 12. You were also number 12, which there's, I think, a pretty good story with that. But can you name any other Bakers that played for the Cubs? There are 4 of them.
My cousin was not my cousin, but Jeff Baker definitely played for the Cubs.
Jeff Baker. Yeah, and he also was a Marlin at some point as well. That's Jeff Baker. There's a guy that played with Ernie Banks. I'll give that as a hint.
Gene Baker.
Gene Baker.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
From Davenport.
And there's another guy that's probably you won't get, but there's a guy named Tom Baker who pitched only 18 innings in 1963. No one's getting that. But there's one other guy that I think Crawley might get, because Mike Presnowski got it last night when I was trying these questions out at Nisei Lounge. Praz got it. There's one more. Scott Baker.
Scott Baker, yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know, but it was like mid 2000s, maybe.
Yeah. The Bullet. He was renowned for somehow winning all the card games in the minor leagues because he always pulled aces.
Yeah, he was a
They called
pitcher.
him the Bullet. Yeah.
Played
I remember Scott Baker.
until 2015. He was in Minnesota, 1 year on the Cubs in 2013. So right before you, and then he went to Texas and finished up with the Dodgers. Scott Baker. So you guys did pretty well. I mean, together. It wasn't really a competition, but I had no prize anyway, so it didn't matter.
I told you you'd win, Crawley.
You know, I have a quick question here, actually, for Will, because Will's been sitting here hanging out, watching all this for quite a while. What would be the equivalent in the opera or the orchestra or whatever? Like, because you're a professional. I mean, you're a professional artist. I tend to think of baseball players as artists, like a dancer or, you know, something like that. Like their bodies, that's what they're doing their art with. You're an artist. What would be sort of this, I don't know, kind of equivalent of it's like an odd point where you have to just jump in and do something for the orchestra or the opera or whatever you're working with that you would imagine?
It's pretty rare to get like thrown into something last minute. I guess you could maybe if somebody, you know, got sick and you had to change parts. You know, most of the time what we do in the opera or the symphony is we're playing, you know, masterworks or either some new stuff but it could be things from written hundreds of years ago. And you have your music beforehand and you can prepare. And so it's, for the most part, it's like you're learning stuff and you show up to the first rehearsal prepared. You're doing all the same things. I do actually, you do sometimes get called if somebody gets sick. Like the first time I ever played with Chicago Symphony was like a little over a year ago. And the bass trombonist got sick or actually his wife got sick and he had to leave town. And I got called on a Tuesday morning to go and play Verdi Requiem with Chicago Symphony. And I had never played the piece before.
Wow.
And so that was interesting because like I didn't have, you know, I had never looked at the part. I had heard heard segments of the piece. One of the movements, the Dies Irae from Verdi Requiem, is in tons of movies. You'd all recognize it in 2 seconds. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so I was familiar with some of it, but that's like, you know, 2 minutes out of like an hour plus long piece. So I I did my best to listen to recordings and get a hold of a part to look at, the notes and stuff, and got down there early to run through a few spots. But you're still, like we said earlier, you're still like sitting there, and you have to adjust to what's happening and in the moment. So that was kind of a last minute thrown in thing. But other than that, it's kind of hard to imagine maybe like an understudy in a Broadway show. Or
I did that. I went on when I was in Rent in 1996.
Yeah,
something like that. There was 15 characters in the show, and we were just decimated with the flu. The whole cast was down. People had no voices and everything. So they made me go up and play 2 different tracks. So I had to play a women's role and a men's role. I was running all over the stage. I played all these parts. I never practiced. I'm just up there in front of 2,000 people singing this stuff. And it was really fun. Talk about like needing to focus. When you have an understudy on or something that's not in the ordinary, your brain goes into super hyper vigilant focus mode. And it's actually really fun to do things you weren't expecting to do that morning.
Yeah. Well,
that's incredible.
We're talking baseball, and we're talking Broadway. Like, there's understudies, there's backups, but Will, you don't employ backups, right?
No, we do have
literally they go through a phone book and they're like, oh shit, we got to call a bass trombonist.
We got a sub list.
Somebody answers.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Yeah, we've got a sub list, or you're on a sub list, and they, the personnel manager makes a call. So like if somebody's sick that morning, you try to let them know as early as you can so they can try to get somebody in the chair. But for the most part, things are pretty spelled out. There is, one thing with trombones is in both opera, but also in symphony, a lot of the most famous symphonies, a lot of times we play only at the very end. So sometimes you sit down for a Brahms symphony or Beethoven or whatever, and the music starts, and then 45 minutes later you have your first entrance, and like in the 4th movement at the very end. And so although this is coming and you practice and mentally prepare for it, but you do have to sit there, listen to the music, and stay engaged or not, and then be able to come, when your part comes around, to pick your horn up and sound good like you've been playing the whole time. So that's kind of its own unique and sometimes fun challenge.
And when they call, how hard do you negotiate that price?
How do you negotiate? Thankfully, you get paid by the service and not by the note, or sometimes maybe by the week and not by the note. Otherwise, we'd be making very little, and the violins would get all the money.
Because I heard John was trying to like raise his rate when he was sitting there in the dugout in his 15th.
Yeah,
right. Negotiating with Brandon.
That's why you brought the guitar out that day too. Hey, and I can play songs for the people too.
I don't know if we've ever even told that. That is that night. Well, I'm amazed I remember it because of how much wine I drank before I was in the dugout with the guitar during the game. But
it's a rain delay, right?
Okay, so something had happened with staffing of the grounds crew. There was some sort of like governmental thing that I was beyond my scope of understanding was happening, but we knew that we had like half the grounds crew available for some reason. And we had one of those Chicago things where like it just was windy and it poured in like intensely for like 20 minutes, like a crazy downpour. And they were trying to get the tarp onto the field and they couldn't. They got like half the field covered. And then for some reason, they peeled the tarp back off because it stopped raining. And then they just ran out before getting the water off. And they put like diamond dry, which is like, like you put it on water and it immediately kind of turns into dirt. Those are like 70-pound bags. So they put like 7,000 pounds of diamond dry on the infield. And it basically just made a crust on top of a swamp. And so we were back in the locker room and guys were like, we're playing. And I was sitting there like trying to be the voice of reason. And I was just like, like most of the time I would say, hey, yeah, we got to get ready to play. But I'm like, guys, there's just no chance. Like, there's no chance. There's no chance we're playing. And so then we went back out and we looked. And I remember Bruce Bochy was the manager of the Giants. We were playing them. He came over and he walked over to third base and it was like a cartoon. Like he he put his foot in and it was like up to his knee on the ground. I'm like, this game's getting banged. No, it's not. And they were like, prove it. And so, yeah, we basically like shotgunned a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And then they gave it. There's
There
me
you are.
in 3 sheets there. And then I took my guitar because I would play the guitar in the, our guys seemed to like it. Like I would play the guitar in the, like in our like lounge room that we had. And yeah, they were like, you won't bring it out on the field. And I was like, I will bring it out on the field. Yeah, I will. There we go. I knew the game was going to get canceled, and it did.
Is that Justin
How
Grimm
hard was
sitting
it,
next
though?
to you? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's Grimm right next to you. Yeah.
Sorry
How
to
hard
jump
was
in,
it
guys.
for
I got to
you,
say
though?
thanks for having me. I got to run help with kids' bedtime. But you guys
Yeah,
all
I
love you,
understand. Will, thank you so much for
My
all
pleasure.
your help with my show and
you, Will.
for just being an awesome dude. And
love
you're
you
the
guys. I'll see you guys all hopefully soon.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of the stream.
Thanks. Yeah, we're gonna still do some. We're gonna give away a bunch of prizes. We've still got the auction ends tonight, and I do want to because John, we gotta let you go too. We've kept you
Yeah,
way too
I
long.
mean, baseball has no clock, and neither does Son Ranto.
Neither does the Son Ranto Show. But I do want to say one more time that if you want to get in on this auction, John has donated his time as a mental skills coordinator for private sessions, and that is in right now. That's in the 32 auctions. I just shared the link in the chat. If you're having any problems making the bid, let me know. But it's in there along with a bunch of other great prizes. And also I got to thank Crawley for letting me know what everything's worth. Cause I don't really value things by money that much. You know, I think something's worth all this money. Like here, I got to show this real quick. Crawley's like, that's worth nothing. I have a certificate of death that's signed by Andre Dawson, who's a licensed funeral director. And I made, I had somebody make this for me, and then I had Andre sign it. And Crawley's like, that's not worth anything. And I'm like, but it's incredible. Nobody has this. It's one of one. He's like, yeah, nobody wants that, except for you. So
I totally disagree. That's worth
value.
whatever you can get somebody to get for it.
Yeah, that's incredible. You know what? It makes me want to talk about Andre Dawson too, because like it's obviously now the kind of the front end of this is like, what's the biggest news in the Cub space is Rhino, and I was really fortunate for a couple, for way too many reasons to count, but from like a baseball perspective, playing in 2014 meant that every day when you came down into the dugout at home, you could go talk to Ernie Banks every single day. And every single day, this guy would say the same thing. He'd be like, I just wish I could get back out there again. Like he just wanted to be out on the field and play. But you also had Ryan Sandberg around, and you had Andre Dawson around, and you had Rick Sutcliffe around. But I think, Rhino in particular, Rhino and Hawk both are like, we're very arrogant as baseball players. I think, like you have to think a lot of yourselves. You have to be like delusionally confident to be good because it's so hard. And so that oftentimes like later in life with people, they're not, necessarily people you really like, I would say, or want to be around just because they're so famous. They're bigger than everything. And Rhino was so famous, and Hawk was so famous too. But like they're the two most humble Hall of Fame people that I was ever around. But Rhino in particular, and I remember we would have these mental skills meetings in spring training where we would bring like all the hitters in and we'd bring all the pitchers in. And I remember one year in particular, and he would always go to them. He would always show up and sit in the crowd for the mental skills meeting. And we had one time too where it was like, the timing was screwed up with the schedule, and it was like we were supposed to have 30 minutes, but we had like 12 minutes, and so we were trying to like rush through stuff, and people were kind of agitated. And Ryan Sandberg stands up in the middle of the meeting, and he's like, "Hey, everybody needs to pay attention. I was so screwed up when I was playing this game. Like I couldn't sleep, and like it made me crazy, and like this stuff is really important, and we all need to listen to it." And I'm like, I feel like it worked out for you. I feel like you got through it. But that moment always strikes me about that person, because like the vulnerability to get up in front of like a room of younger players, you're literally like this Hall of Fame, like legend in Chicago, and you're the legend in baseball history. Everybody knows who Ryan Sandberg is. But to get up and say like, I was really screwed up. Like this was really hard for me. Like I had sleepless nights. It was really powerful. I thought it set like just an incredible example. And then, I got to spend time with Andre Dawson when I was playing with the Marlins as well, because he was a special assistant there. And again, it's another person who like nothing, when you talk to him, like when you sat down and he would like offer you advice or something, it was actually about you. It wasn't a reason to tell a story about himself, which I think we would kind of see a lot. It was literally like about you. It was about you, and then he would tell you about, Hog's Head cheese at his restaurant in Tampa, or, or he'd tell you a story. One of my favorite Andre Dawson stories is him telling me the story about taking his chain off when he was on the Red Sox. They had like a beanball war. They were throwing back and forth, and Girardi was catching for the Yankees at the time. And Andre Dawson comes up, and he knows they're probably going to throw at him, he said. So he like gets in the batter's box, and then he realizes he's like, oh man, we're about to get in a fight. So he calls timeout. And he steps out and he takes his chain off and he puts it in his pocket. And Girardi's like, kind of like looks at him, and Dawson looks back at him and he goes, yeah. And he's like, looks over in the dugout. There's like jarring back and forth. And they just decide we're not going to throw at him today.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
Nothing would be more frightening than to see Andre Dawson step out and take his chain off.
Yeah.
That would scare the
like your
living
dad
shit
taking
out
off his belt, or mom taking
it's
off
like-
a shoe or something.
Because like, Hawk at like 65 is like somehow jacked, like it's just incredible.
Yes, even at his age right now, he looks like he can absolutely 100%. Like, not only will he bury you, he'll carry your coffin by himself.
Well, I think he learned.
And he'll organize the funeral.
When
Exactly.
Eric Shaw hit him, when he was Cubs versus Padres, I have the Sports Illustrated signed by Dawson, but you could see he's got the chains on and they're kind of coming up, and he got knocked out. He chased Shaw, and the umpires made Shaw leave the game. They said, this guy's going to kill you. So they literally had escorted Shaw back into the visitor clubhouse. If you're that fight was unbelievable. Eric Shaw.
One of my other favorite memories of being a Cub was that we played that video in the at Sloan, in like there's this room there, if you guys have been inside, that's basically like a theater. So they played the video in the theater in front of spring training, and they had Sutcliffe and Andre Dawson walk everybody through what was happening, because Sutcliffe is the kind of person that he just immediately makes every room like more fun, like he's just immediately talking trash to everybody. He used to we'd sit around this table in spring training and go through the plan for the day. And it always ended in like 10 minutes of Sutcliffe telling Ryan Sandberg that if he was a better defender, he would have won a Cy Young, but he couldn't get to anything because he was too slow. Just talking trash constantly, making it fun. And we used to, you laugh at him. But then you watch that game, and they threw an Andre Dawson, and Sutcliffe went absolutely insane.
Yep.
He was like, he's not. There's something about that that is what baseball's about. That doesn't happen. Doesn't get the attention. Like there's just a different level of when you go back there, you go back to those periods of time, or earlier 10, 15 years ago, like a connectedness of a team, like. Like that, they threw it Andre Dawson, and Rick Sutcliffe took it personal.
Well, how about that game in 2014 against the Reds when Aroldis Chapman was headhunting on Shearholtz, and they said he wasn't trying to throw at him, and then you walked. And
I was the next batter.
Yeah, I actually have video of you pimping that walk. I got to play that real quick. It's only 13 seconds long. It's hilarious.
Ball 4 to extend the inning. Going back to last night, he had struck out.
Yeah, then it's like Coughlin and everybody's screaming at him. I remember, I will never forget being on deck. There was nobody at that game. It was like a 12 o'clock game.
I was there.
I'm on deck. It's like one of those times in baseball where like you see what's going on and you're like, maybe they'll pinch hit for me because I'm left-handed. But he threw those two balls behind Schurl's head, and I was up next, and our dugout screaming at him, and I was like, oh my God, like this is how I die. You know, I get hit with 104 in the neck or something.
You were super excited when you pump your fist and then point at the sky. Like that wasn't a normal thing that you did.
No,
right?
No, that was on purpose for sure. And then that led to in between innings, everybody running around all crazy like they were going. Nobody there was going to fight. But I liked it for. There I am. I liked it for Riz.
Yeah, there you are in the middle of it, and there's Rizzo basically fighting the entire Reds bench by himself. Maybe he went over there when he went back to the field while he was playing first base. Reds are right there, and he turned around and it just kicked off from there.
Yeah, he went hockey style. He dropped the glove. I remember putting my catcher's gear on, the dugout, and then you have like the shit. Let's see. Let me run out there now.
John, we're fighting now. Take off the chains.
In 2014, though, there was that game. It was the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field. And on the actual anniversary of the game, that was the day where they brought every legend back. And it was football. It was Gale Sayers. It was Dick Butkus. It was every
Billy
great
Williams
there.
Ernie Banks.
Ernie was there. Glenn Beckert, Randy Huntley. It was absolutely amazing. And, I just sat there and that game to me, I've never seen that amount of star power, like legends on one field at one time, if you remember that game.
Oh yeah. I mean, and working there too was incredible because one year, my first year working for the Cubs, I had a locker mate. I shared a locker with Billy Williams. And I remember he asked me, sharing a locker with Billy Williams became and I was happy to do this because what an incredible player at Story too. But it became running errands for Billy Williams. I need son, I need a hat. Okay, I got you. Let me go get the hat, right? Williams HOF 87 on it. Make sure that it fits right. Help him get down. Help him find the pants that fit. And it's so cool to be around that level of history. And those guys, Kerry Wood is another one who's always around. I remember they're trying to do some sort of pitching meeting, and they're asking where Kerry Wood is, and they find out that he's out playing wiffle ball with people in the on the pathway across from where the locker room is to where Sloan is. I mean, that's the people that organization brings back. It's really, really cool. And I hope they're continuing to do that.
They do. I mean, they do respect the legends, and they respect the old franchise and the fact that we play in a 115-year-old ballpark and all of that. Or what 100? What year was it? 1914?
1914.
112.
Yeah,
112 now. So, yeah, she still looks pretty good. I mean, they've done a good job keeping it together. And it's now we got the Yankees coming to town, and nobody can afford to go. But the Yankees and the Dodgers tickets are like $200. I'd rather go see Will at the Opera. No, I'd rather that's I'm like $200. Like I could fly to California and visit you, John. Instead,
there you go. Come on.
But talking about these things that John, you're talking about, and you talked about earlier about the fans and how excited people were and how players would feel like maybe they're letting down the fans and stuff. We were talking about this just the other day at Ball Hawk Corner, because Ball Hawk Corner is right outside. One of our raffles is from Ball Hawk Dave. You can get some, jewelry or whatever. But that is part of the Cubs thing. It's not the same anywhere else.
Oh.
The fact that you can walk outside and there will be people actually hanging out there talking for hours and whatever. And everyone over there has a story about, oh yeah, this player just walked out and hung out with us for a bit.
Yeah, Ben Brown comes out sometimes. It's Garrett, what's his last name? He's the bullpen catcher for the Cubs now. Garrett Lloyd. Do you know Garrett Lloyd?
Yeah,
that's his name. Yeah, he comes out and hangs out too. And that is a rarity, that.
But it's very special, sort of.
Eddie Vedder comes out on the corner. Like, it's wild, but it is unique. And that's why I feel like this event that we're throwing tonight is tough, because Cubs fans are used to this kind of weirdness where we do things differently. We got this one game that we played that we won in the middle of 2014, and it was exciting and a lot of fun. And ever since then, we've done a lot of beautiful things to kind of carry that forward with, charity and, telling these great stories and becoming friends and working with your brother on music and just when you put yourself out there in that way, it's like it's done nothing but give me way more than I put in. And
I love hearing you say that, Danny, but also, I think that it goes back to the same Ken Ravizza principle. We're just asked to see each other as people. It's not about what we do. We see each other as people, and the overwhelming majority of people that I've met because I've been at Wrigley Field are good people. It's really cool. Last year when I got to go back, I hadn't been back in a long time. That was like an emotional experience for me, like walking around that stadium. And Danny, you and I got to spend some time there last year. It was great.
Well, time out, John, because Rizzo twice has caught home runs in the bleachers. What happened with you? Did you get anything?
No. Nobody hit a ball my way.
Oh, no, we were hanging out with you and Tony out and my sister were out there in the bleachers. That not a single ball came to us.
No,
and we were sitting right by where Rizzo was sitting too. It wasn't even that far in the left field bleachers by bleachers left.
Earlier, you said you wanted to hang out with Rizzo. You need to hang out with Rizzo in the bleachers because
you'll definitely get a ball.
The Cubs just hit balls right at him.
It seems like a good place to be. Yeah, it's one of the things we used to do. I'll leave you guys with this, and I do have to run. But one of the things that we used to do when we would come as a visitor, and this is I don't know if we've ever talked about this, Danny, but I learned this from Luis Gonzalez. So the Cubs fans are incredible during batting practice in the bleachers. Like the most interactive. And you go to other places sometimes and it's very negative, a lot of trash talking, but this is more, they were always more kind of talking back and forth, it wasn't talking trash necessarily. Sure. That was some of it, but Luis Gonzalez told me, he's like, this is a long known secret about Wrigley Field. He goes, this is what you do. He goes, you get 2 baseballs and you try to find somebody that's holding 2 beers. And you say, hey, you want a ball, and you throw both of them at the guy, and then you watch what happens. And I got to do that as a visiting player and watch the guy go like this with the beers and just get hit in the chest with the ball. Everybody's asking for a ball. Here's 2. But yeah, you always have to target the guy with his hands full of beer.
Absolutely.
That's a fun game to play as a visiting player.
Yeah, I always think that I would throw if I were to throw it into the bleachers, I just find the biggest mass of drunk dudes that will all elbow each other out of the way to get this thing. That I would throw it right in the middle of them just to see them all fight.
Wait,
I agree.
Now I know why Luis Gonzalez kept throwing balls at me. I could never figure it out until now.
Well, we've got a bunch of stuff to give away, but we'll let you go for now. John, thank you so much for your time and for just, when I approached you with this idea back in 2016, you were always game. You were like, what the hell? What's wrong with these people? And, but I feel like we got very lucky because, I've met other players and I don't think that there's a lot of guys out there that are like you. I mean, you are unique in and of yourself just because not only are you an athlete, but you're a philosopher and you're just interesting to talk about. I've talked to a lot of sports guys that's all they can really talk about is sports. It's kind of, they live, sleep, and breathe it, but you're not like that. And you just come at things from such a different angle. And it's just such a breath of fresh air. And just thank you for being a part of it all these years and for helping us raise the money that we've been raising tonight. I do want to mention that we did have a bunch of donations. There's now looks like $250 in the GoFundMe. That's in addition to the $300 that I already had in the kitty that was Venmoed to me. Plus we got, I got to enter them into the raffle, but we've had some of those tickets come in as well. So thank you so much for doing that to help us out. And I hope to see you at opening night of the game. Maybe I can
I'll
even
be there,
get
yeah.
your brother to come play in it. I can't pay him
I'll
with the
work on-
upper pace him, but you know.
I'll work on him too. But yeah, you let me know when that happens. That'll be a good reason to go visit Will and his family too.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks, and hi to Megan and the kids, and
Thank you.
You know, congratulations on the move, and once again, all the best of luck with the new venture with Intentional Performance. It's freaking awesome, and
Your dad talking some shit.
John's dad
Enough,
says,
Danny. We have to live with this guy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, David, you gave birth to a
It
couple
never ends.
custom sons.
never ends.
Yeah.
It never
So,
ends.
well, thanks for being here, and I guess we'll Crawley. You probably ought to leave too, but thanks you guys both for being here. I'm gonna play just as we go to commercial. I'm gonna play just a video of John's post game press conference. Actually, I don't have that up. What I do have is a message from Corey Finneran. Who was one of the main John Baker Day messages founders. So, Crawley, thanks for being here. John, thanks for being here.
And
hey,
Danny, I got to say the same things though, man. I'm just, I'm happy. It's great that I got to play in Chicago, but I'm super happy to have met you guys. This is, you're awesome. You do good all the time. You see it the right way, and I just got a ton of respect for you guys. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. And we love having you as part of the Ranters 100%.
So Crawley, thanks for being here too, brother. And
Thank you guys.
and we'll be back after the word from these sponsors and Corey Finneran.
Hey everybody, Corey from IVMV here. When Danny asked me to record this video for John Baker Day, I thought I cannot record a video for Danny without being in a cemetery on a little stroll. So here I am in Hope Cemetery outside of beautiful downtown Galesburg, Illinois. And I just wanted to wish everybody a happy John Baker Day. So I was thinking about John Baker Day this morning, and I was thinking that, it was such a special event. And I think, that night that the backup catcher got the win will hold a special place in a lot of our hearts. The occurrence itself, and then the events that took place afterwards. The 2014 season, there was not a lot to get excited about at the major league level. I think all of us who were, plugged into the Cubs were paying more attention to the Iowa Cubs and the Tennessee Smokies than we were the Major League Club at that level. But that event kind of was a preview of some of the magic that we were going to experience over the next handful of years. I've had the opportunity to interview Cubs players, when they were with the Cubs, former Cubs players. And I think that John Baker is really special because I don't think that there are many former players who would, connect with Cubs fans in the way that John Baker did. They may show up to Cubs convention, they may do events, but John was open to doing an event for this weird thing that he did in baseball. And open to doing an event with like just a bunch of jokers, like all of us in the, Son Ranto, IVMV, just the Cubs, community. And I think that says a lot about him as a person. And so I have really appreciated the opportunity to work with John on John Baker Day. Danny, I'm so grateful for you to continue this event. And it's such a cool thing. And to have been able to support causes like the Lost Boys and everything like that. But then what you're doing, Danny, with the musical, the game, and I'm just going to encourage everybody to take advantage of that match. Donate, because everything Danny does is for Cubs fans. Everything he does is for the community. And I appreciate that, even though I'm not as involved as I used to be. I still observe it from the outside. And I can't say enough good things about what Danny's doing, what John has done, by working with all of us. And so, yeah, definitely take advantage of that match. Give today for the game, and I will see you at the show. Happy John Baker.
16th, John Baker came to the plate and drew a walk. And then he got to third base somehow. At which point, Starlin Castro hit a sacrifice fly, winning the game. John Baker finally won it in 16 on the most exciting sac fly in this baseball fantasy. But I sort of missed it. I was drunk as Charlie Sheen. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. Got the win. Oh, they threatened us with handcuffs when we tried to sneak back in. The night the backup catcher got the win. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win.
Hey there! As you can see, I'm a talking penguin. No, I'm not like the Batman kind of penguin, or Rod Say, or that dumb fuck Happy Feet. No, I'm the spokes penguin for Penguin Imprints, who makes awesome imprinted items with original designs. And they do custom stuff too. Why, check this out. And this. How do you like this, Chicago? And I love this one. And this might sound a little weird coming from a penguin, but fuck ice indeed. Penguin Imprints also makes custom t-shirts and stickers for your event or organization. And because they're sponsors, listeners of the Bleacher Punch Network can get 20% off any order at penguinimprints.com with the code BleacherPunch. Okay, that's enough about Penguin Imprints. Now I gotta go find that little bitch Happy Feet and put his smirking pink on the other side of his head. I hate that fucker. But man, do I love Penguin Imprints.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there, because I was entrenched in the awesome new baseball fan app called Fanarchy. It's the best way to keep up on Cubs and baseball news, and follow every game live. But what I like best is the game search feature. I can find any game in history by describing it and say I was there. Gabby Hartnett hits a big homer, and there it is. The lineups, the box score. Oh, I can reminisce about being there at the homer and the Gloman. People don't say Gloman about dusk like they used to. Let's try another. Babe Ruth calls his shot and hits a homer at Wrigley Field. And there it is, Charlie freaking Root. What a bum. Anywho, I love Fanarchy, so I wrote them a song. Get off Facebook, get off X. The Fanarchy app is the best. For all the Cubs baseball news I need, I always use Fanarchy.
We are back. We're well over the 2-hour mark, but this is like child's play for you and me, baby. This is
we can do this when there's nothing to talk about. But we had 2 hours of honestly wonderful conversation with John Baker and Will Baker, and I mean those two guys, and then chiming in their dad David.
Yeah, like David.
That was pretty awesome as well.
Yeah. And Crawley always asks such great questions too. I mean, I'm sure he's already formulating his questions for Cubs convention. That's not happening. He's like, damn it, I have so much to ask. But I was surprised that they came up with most of those answers for the John Baker Day trivia. So that was kind of, I thought they were a little hard because they were having trouble last night. But I was like, well, John was in the game and Crawley is trivia master, so maybe it'll work out. It did. They got it. I saw you chomping at the bit when John was like basically talking about everything that you're always talking about, with just like, it's one thing to be prepared. It's one thing to learn all the things of the analytics and knowing to move your finger that way or this way, or your swing plane to be that. But then you go and you leave all that behind and you play the game. And John maybe is old too, like we're all old school now, and there is a new school.
Well, but
maybe it changes
but
back.
Here's the thing. People can look at me and I'm just this 50-year-old fan and I'm talking shit about things that I believe, but there's no, I don't have the authority. I don't have the background to really say oh, this is correct. I'm looking at it and I have a lot of experience of my own, but it's not baseball. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, this is what I think is going on, but there's nothing to back that up. So when I get to hear John Baker, who is not old school, I mean, this is a dude who is in the game up to a year ago and literally is in the middle of all of this, seeing not only firsthand, but more than most see. Not even players see what he was
behind
seeing.
The scenes. He's literally does it for a living. Yeah, every day.
Exactly. And then to see him say that, say a lot of the same things that I say is very validating for me. But, I don't want it to come across as oh, well, yeah, he hates all this shit. And
no, I don't think that's the case.
No, he absolutely doesn't. And I don't either. People tend to think that I hate all of it, and I don't. I look at all of it very deeply. I literally just finished writing the 3rd inning of War Games for the Baseball Rabbit Hole, and it's about the first baseman, and it's a fucking mess because war is not this super easy fucking, oh, we got a number and now we know it.
Well, there's 2 kinds of war too. Maybe there'll be a 3rd one by now. There's probably already a 3rd one.
I was fighting with this shit, just going back and forth, digging in deeper, going into all this, and there's so much there. And then you hear John say, there's so much information.
Yeah. It's too much.
If for a person like me, a person that is just writing about it or looking at it from the outside, a fan, sure, that's one way we can make decisions about things and have opinions about things and validate our opinions. Baseball players can't do that. They can't. All of this stuff that they're giving them at all times is overload. And the thing is, and Danny, I think you could probably speak to this. They are artists, right? They are.
Well, it's timing.
People
don't
be on
think
time about it like that. But you were on Broadway. You sang. You danced. There was a lot of things you have to do, and it's very physical. And people don't think about athletes that way, right? Maybe a gymnast or something they might think about like that. But they don't think about baseball players, basketball players, football players. Those people, the reason that we watch them is because we want to see them do something that normal humans can't do, right? They've perfected their craft. They've done a thing.
And they prepared for it.
And it's the artistry that once they get into that situation, they're able to rise above whatever is expected. The numbers don't mean shit when
you're at the bat,
artist, and you're right there, and you just went above and beyond everything.
Yeah.
And that
you got to be transcendent. And then you can't be transcendent when you're thinking about all this other shit. No matter what it is, if it's your laundry list, not who makes a list of laundry, grocery list.
Your laundry list.
I got to clean my socks.
No, I know what you mean. A laundry list is like slang for shit you got to do.
Yeah,
but yeah. Nobody talks about where did that come from? Fucking laundry list.
I think it's just a mixed metaphor. I did want to bring out a couple more pictures because we just obviously we're way over time. Where the auction ends at 10 o'clock tonight. Right now, I
think we may be here till then.
Yeah, we're Jerry Lewis telethotting this thing anyway. There's 9 items there. We've raised $18.55 so far. That's awesome, helping me sell my shit. But the one thing that I am surprised is only going for $300, and I know who bid on it. I don't know if I should say, because maybe you want to outbid him because you don't
name
like
until it's over.
Yeah, but well, I don't know if people want to know who won it all, but it's only going for $300 to have 12 sessions with John, which is like basically paying him like $25 a session right now.
And no, I have to tell you right now, I am going back and forth with Emily on text about that one.
Yeah, you're like, can I put in?
Yeah.
Well, and you're not the only one. There's other people that are kind of in that same fence, but I had to price it somewhat high, because it's worth that much, So he'll give you probably a free session just to try him out for 15 minutes or something too, if you email. But there's that, and there's the Anthony Rizzo bat. I'm surprised how the signed Joe Madden card is going. That's for over $500.
That's the one that's getting the most action.
Getting the most action. People really like that. It's sought after. I mean, I hope they know it's not the actual lineup card from it's not the actual one. It's one of 400 that I got at Club 400. That's all explained, I believe, in the blurb, The other one is the Wrigley'sville Dogs, the Bleacher Jeff meal at the site of the Battle of Wrigley'sville Dogs, and a bleacher seat where you get to get your seat saved for him in that section 504 and sit in that infamous seat. Maybe he'll let you bang the drum if you got some rhythm. And anyway, that's a fun prize, but it's only going for over $100 right now, which basically is as much as a bleacher ticket and a hot dog meal on a weeknight. So we're not making any dough on that one. So let's get that one up. I think it's at $125 right now. That's nothing. I see the original Matt Kammerer, Javier Baez, is at $250. Nobody's bid on the side Contreras. I'll put that up there. People, I guess they don't like him. Stroke got a bid going for $100, which is about what I paid for it. So that's fair.
Here's my issue with all of these is I literally want all of them. And
buy them, empty the bank.
I don't collect a ton of shit. I consider myself a minimalist. All my shit, I can get rid of in a heartbeat. But my entire collection is basically right here. It's my background. That's it. I've got, outside of these, I have baseballs. I have a few baseballs, and that's it. So I've got 13, 14 baseballs.
So you need more stuff. So why don't you bid on all my stuff? You got to bid on the Ernie Banks nines.
It's so
Banks
hard.
Nines,
I'm just saying that I want to so badly, but I'm also just getting anything is hell on my my mental.
Well, the drunker the drunker you and everybody out there in the chat get tonight, the more I think these bids will get jacked up. I do want to point out that we are giving away something from Penguin Imprints tonight. That is whoever wins the Baker, hashtag Baker in the chat.
Hashtag Baker in the chat.
You could win this. I'm going to send one of these to John too, because he deserves to have a bottle.
Yeah, that is badass.
Yeah. So this is really cool. Thank you, Penguin Imprints, for sending these out. I passed a few out at Nisei Lounge yesterday. Everybody loved them. And I also got stickers, which I check these out. I'll bring these around to the games. But John Baker Day, little mini stickers with the
nice.
And shout out to Kurt from Ivy Envy, who made this logo. Very talented graphic designer. And so shout out to Kurt and also Andy and Corey, who I played that video of. They were the OGs on that. Talk about a time when we found certain synergies between two competing podcasts. We worked together to do something awesome. So just to goes to show you that working together is always better than competing like idiots.
Oh, 100%. And honestly, I mean, this podcast does not exist
without IVMV.
Because that game that we were talking about, I believe it was August 14th. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it was the Javi Baez debut. And it was in Colorado because for some reason, Joe really liked to give guys their debut in Colorado. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He did it with Lake and he did it with Soler. And yeah.
It's probably right. I could see that being like, talk about thinking about a guy's mental. It was actually August 5th.
Oh, August 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
but we met up there and did not know each other at all. Artie Boucher was also there. We all hung out. And to this day, we're all like friends doing
and talk every day on the Discord and everything. Yeah, no, it just goes to show. I mean, you put yourself out there, John also, just for him to put himself out there the way that he did, to us, make himself available, fly in for the first John Baker Day. Remember, we gave him these shoes. I think it was Brett Rarick's wife painted those shoes, these loafers.
Yes, those shoes
he
are
had
awesome.
The bobblehead done. His has a fist. I made sure he got an intact one. I don't know if it made it back to wherever he was living at the time intact, but also look at this, like, who's who of people. Talk about the people from our lives. There's Crawley, there's Evan Altman, there's Corey right in the middle, Brett Taylor, Andy in the background, and then Matt Kammer, who's here tonight even. And then here's when we used to smoke out by Captain Morgan's. So I made my way to Captain Morgan's 2 years after the first John Baker Day, and me and Matt and Nicole out there having heaters because that's where they let you go smoke. And this is one of my favorite pictures, is when everybody did the John Baker Day fist pump in the air, that picture. And there's John Pincus. I see Beth and Tawny and Blonde Wonk and Evan, and in the back I see Dawn Strand, and I think John Pincus, and I don't know who that is in the lower right. I recognize her, but I forget her name. And then here's Carrie and Dawn and Katie Day, who sang by the lakeside.
Yeah,
it's about that damn time.
And and it's amazing that it's been 10 years now since all of this happened, and it just happens to coincide with the World Series that we were all so invested in, and still to this day I think we are all so invested in.
This picture of me and John at the game and sitting in the bleachers that day, the Cubs had not won the World Series yet.
Yes,
we didn't know what was to come, but a few short months later they would have. A few long months later, actually. Those are the longest months of my life.
Well, and what's amazing is that, like, you bought that Baker jersey the Cubs Con before.
No, it was spring training, because the players' wives, they get rid of all the jerseys that they didn't use at spring training, like guys that aren't on the team anymore. They're like, he's not coming back, and they just, throw them all in this big pile. And I was like, I was at the game, and then I went over there, and I'm like pulling through. I'm like, Baker. And I don't even still to this day know if it's John or Dusty.
right. It's just Baker, but it's 12, and they both wore 12. And what's amazing is, look right here.
Yeah, you got a 12er on. Cotton number 12. 12.
So that's Cotton 12. I got that in 2003. Who knew that was going to be a thing beyond just my wedding day? It was going to be important in this guy's life later.
I was born on the 12th, so it's always been a special number to me. I've often been number 12 on the teams I was on in Little League. I only played through 8th grade, but the reason I was number 12 is because the higher the numbers got, the larger the sizes got, and I was a fat kid, so I'd end up being number 12 oftentimes because there was like 12 kids on the team, 12, 13. So Corey says that's how many toes Cotton has too. I know. He's the Alfonseca of podiatrists. I don't know what that means.
Honestly, I wish I had 12 toes because I'd be able to swim so much better.
Mm-hmm. They call you Flipper. So we still we got 28 minutes to go till the auction ends, and we have yet to give away a single raffle prize.
Yeah, let's start giving shit away, man.
We should give shit away. I agree. So let me share the wheel of names. This is your last chance. Let me see if there's any more people. Corey Furlong just bought more.
We just got another bid. There is a second bid on John Baker.
Is it you?
His sessions. I have no idea. It's not like I didn't do it, but there's a second bid there.
Oh, did Emily get it for you?
Oh, I mean, that might be. There's the Javier Baez went up as well.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, obviously,
I got to refresh my browser, I think.
I think people are starting to.
Oh, yeah. We're
22:15.
All right. Yeah. Well, we're getting down to the end. This is exciting. You know, I should share my screen and keep refreshing it, but let's give away a prize first from the wheel of names. So if you haven't gotten into the raffle yet,
there are 5 bids on the urn.
I know.
People are up for dying.
I kind of feel bad about that because I kind of talked to the first bid. I talked that guy into doing it because he wanted it for his dog, and his dog used to walk around Wrigley, this little pug, a real cute thing. I think I know this dog, and the dog died. And anyway, I'm sad that he's probably not going to win it unless he just is sitting there drunk, being like, "Oh, my dog needs this." So that earns worth $500. So whoever is getting it for under that is. I mean, you're dead. That's the problem. It's just somebody you love died.
Right.
So I feel bad for you. I feel
you
bad
can get it signed. And like I said before, you can get that signed by players. And here's the weird thing. When people go to see your urn and remember you, they're all just going to sit there and go, "Oh, that's Andre Dawson, and that's Kerry Wood." And
yes, exactly.
Like,
standing around your urn trying to figure out.
They're just going to look at who signed your urn.
Is that Glendon Rush? So let's give away. Let's see. Nobody else has gotten it. I saw Corey. I got you in there. I'm going to shuffle it real quick because I'll shuffle it 3 times. All right. We're going to get. What should we give away first? Let's give away something good to start it. How about we give away the Dominic Galoro cutting board / tumbler, whatever you want. Like Dominic's like up to $50 worth of stuff. You know, he does all sorts of custom things. So I'll put a couple of pictures. Here's the coaster that he did.
Oh, do you have a baseball picture?
He sent me one, but I didn't put it in.
He texted me yesterday, I think. And just out of the blue, he says, "What's your favorite number?"
Here.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, he texted me the same thing.
And then he's like, "Or your favorite Cubs player?" I'm like, these are very hard questions for an old man like my ass.
Check out this baseball. He made this too. Spagog.
Oh, that is fucking
with the
awesome.
Cubs fan on there.
Yeah. But he asked me if I wanted a baseball with my jersey, right? And I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Give me a 12 jersey." And I was like, "But I'm going to be the dick that asks for more after you just offered me one thing. I'm going to be like, can you give me another?" Because Emily has a number 7 jersey. So 7,
you got to buy it from him.
Our anniversary. And so I asked him to make one for her as well. And
you got to buy it.
Yeah, no, I was just being a dick.
Well, maybe you'll win. Maybe you'll win. Maybe you'll win this right now. Oh, you almost won. The winner is of the Dominic Galoro Prize, Corey Furlong. Corey Furlong, congratulations.
Okay, I'm going to bet Corey Furlong goes Iowa Hawkeyes. He gets like the Tiger Hawk or the, maybe Kinnick Stadium on some coasters or something. Like, Corey is a big Hawkeye fan. So
I've got it.
He loves the Cubs too, obviously, but big Hawkeye fan as well.
I'm going to make a note of who won that real quick. So that's Corey F. Congratulations, Corey. Money well spent. All right, let's pick another one. We have the last one.
Corey says he already bought Iowa from. So see, I was right. When Corey ordered stuff from Dominic, he ordered the Iowa stuff. So now he can get the Cubs stuff.
So how about the next thing we give is from another donation, and that is the Patrick Wisdom ball and the Matt Camera art donated by Crawley to the cause. I think I got a picture of the artwork here. Check that out. Really nice.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
used to have one of
actually
these
some
too.
really nice stuff. That came from a Club 400 visit, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really nice stuff. I like that a lot.
So let's pick a winner of the Wisdom package. Let's call it the Wisdom package. And the winner is
hopefully not my wife,
Matt Shepherdson. Congratulations, Matt. Matt,
Nice.
you remember his son Rhino? And Rhino was hospitalized as a kid. Now he's a full-grown adult and stuff.
That was not a John Baker Day. That was actually a Cubs unconventional in which we raised a little bit of money. Not nearly enough, but we tried to help to get some of his medical bills paid. But yeah.
And let's see. What do we? I'm looking in the chat here, and Sauna Hotspot. Hey, what's going on? It says, "Oh, I see it in Venmo." Yeah, if you want to still get in there, we still have a bunch more prizes to give away. Those are just the first two. We're still giving away this bottle. This is the grand prize. This 2016 World Series champions champagne bottle. I don't know how the hell I'm going to pack it up. Hopefully somebody wins it that's local, or I can just meet you if you want to. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll
yeah, I think
out.
there are laws against shipping alcohol across state lines.
Well, maybe I'll have to drive it there. You can. So anyway, it's you can Venmo me Danny Rockett at Danny-Rockett. It's $5 a chance. All the money is going to get donated to Trapdoor Theater and to produce the game. We're going to make more art with the art. So how about next we do how about Ball Hawk Dave?
Oh yeah, you know what? I kind of want this one. I'm in the thing. I spent my $20, got my 5 spots.
Okay, hold on. We just got one in. Todd came in. Hold on.
All right,
I gotta give Todd 10 spots here.
Okay, while you're adding Todd here, I gotta back up way back. Let me see if I can find this. Because Matt made a thing. Matt Camera said one of the funniest goddamn things. Okay, so John was talking about just dealing with batting and being up there, and he's like, when shit gets real, you gotta like be in the moment. And Matt Camera, and I was laughing. I was struggling to not just laugh out loud while this is going on because nobody knew what was happening. But he wrote, when my shit gets real nasty, I'm also trying to figure out what to do in real time.
Like, where's the toilet paper?
And it's one of the funniest things I've seen in the chat in years. Like, I was, oh, God damn, that was fucking funny.
Andy asks if he could Zell me. Yes, you can. I think you have my Zell because I got tickets for Andy. He's coming in town soon. So we're going to go hang out next Monday, watch the Dodgers and the Cubs. By the way, 69 viewers on right now. It's official. We have reached Nirvana. So Todd, I got you in there and I shuffled the deck. I shuffled it 12 times for John Baker. Okay. Actually, I think somebody else just came in as well.
Sauna Hotspot said that they just jumped in.
Yep. If that's Chad, then he's in, as well. So you get 6 spots. So we'll put Chad.
Yeah, you know what? I love this right now. Like, this is real time. We're fucking doing something here. You don't get this anywhere else.
And I will say this too. This morning, what the first thing I did was practice. I practiced the show that I wrote. And so just so you know, it's like, this is really happening. Like, we're doing this for something that's really that I'm going to work my ass off on. And I'm putting a bunch of people together. We're all moving in the same direction. And like, I could not be more, I feel so supported right now by everybody that's like going on this train with me. I appreciate you allowing me to, I guess, lead this charge and put together the many loves of my life, the music and the theater that I work with, and the very talented people I work with all the time, including yourself, Michael, and all the very funny, wonderful ranters that we get to hang out with all the time, especially Cubs caroling, Ranter Fest, all the things that we've been doing, and and just that you trust me with this moment as well.
Well, Danny, real quick, since we're on this topic, why don't you explain the Mike Waller matching situation?
Yeah, well, that dude's like freaking helping out so much. Not only is he a huge supporter of the arts in general, because he's always been involved in the theater. He's got family members involved in the theater, but he's super supportive of Trapdoor Theater, and he's super supportive of the game. So he offered that any money that we raise tonight, he will match up to $5,000. So that's an incredible gift. And I couldn't, I'm just floored. I'm literally left speechless by that kind of generosity.
That's honestly, that's amazing to hear from any of the ranters for doing this. I cannot do that, but I will be just like if I faced a major league pitcher. I'm going to put in I'll put in $1,000 towards that donation. So we need,
dude,
we need four
you
more.
You paid for one actor. You paid for one actor.
We need 4 more strikeouts, people, to unlock the Mike Waller $5,000.
Yeah, and we're getting there because we're at 22.15 on the auction. We're on the fun 22.15 on the auction, which ends in 16 minutes. The GoFundMe's up to $750 right now. Thank you to Megan Baker, who sent $500. Oh my God. Hopefully she meant to do that because there's 2 transactions. So I don't know. I'll talk to her.
She's like, I'm going to give you $250. And then she hit it twice.
Yeah. David Baker, John's dad, Will's dad, he put in $100. Corey Finneran, Anonymous is in for $40. Thank you, Anonymous, whoever you are. But, so we are getting up there as it is. So thank you to everybody. And plus we got this raffle, which I haven't even counted yet, which, couple hundo maybe. But let's give away. What are we going to do? The Ball Hawk Dave. Now everybody's in. William's in. Everybody's in. Okay. Chad's in.
And we are 94.6% away from the goal. You only set a $2,500 goal for this auction. 94.6. That's 5%. Like, I guarantee we have 15 minutes? We can get there.
I'm feeling good about it. So somebody's drunk enough to keep bidding.
And that doesn't count the other donations coming from outside. That's just for the auction.
Yeah, and there's way more people too. I got to also shout out, as long as we're stopping shouting people out, is John Pincus, who is also committed to donating quite a large amount, and he is also a huge supporter of Trapdoor Theater. So this is the community we built. I saw that like back in the chat, Matt Kammerer also said something about this community, and I totally agree with that sentiment. It's like, it's rare that people get to be a part of something like this. And I just, thanks for like trusting me with kind of helming this sucker because, I have imposter syndrome like everybody else. And I'm like, this is crazy. Are we really going to do a musical I wrote and it's going to cost $60,000 and I'm going to raise the money somehow by entertaining people enough that they'll want to give freely of their own hard-earned dough. I mean, I couldn't be more thankful. Yes. And,
Danny, this is actually going to happen. And it's going to happen not because people are that goddamn generous. I mean, partially because of that, but it's because you have actually worked on this. Like, you didn't come up with this last week.
No,
like,
I've been
working on this for
yeah.
years and putting a lot of fucking effort into it. And I think the community understands that you are putting effort into it and you are getting to a point that, like,
it's shit or get up the pot.
You're right. You're right there.
Yeah.
Like the only obstacle is literally money.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's true.
Because you've got theaters already booked. You've got actors ready to go. You've got musicians ready to play. All of this stuff takes a ton of effort, which you've already put in. And so now at this point, it's like, money?
Now it's a sunk cost.
Yeah. Now, and I'm not going to downplay the money.
Yeah.
Like the money is probably the biggest thing. That's why it's the last thing that we're trying to, you're trying to get going here. But that's the one thing that schlubs like me might be able to offer. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get up on that stage.
And I thank you, man. And I really appreciate that. And the other thing I want to say is that, kind of the economics of it, that $1,000, that's going to pay for an actor. Actors work quite cheaply. They do it for the love of the craft as well. And, frankly, if we were doing this in New York City and or in LA, like it would cost $600,000 and not 60. And then I'm having different kind of meetings instead of just throwing John Baker days and stuff,
Here's the thing, Danny. I want you to, promise me one thing. Do not tell me which actor I paid for, because that'll get creepy. I will stand a little too close to that actor.
I own you. You're mine. All right. So I'm going to pick a winner. Somebody's going to win. This is for the Ball Hawk Dave jewelry. Just to remind everybody of what we started to do about 25 minutes ago. Oh my God. And it's Corey Furlong again. Didn't he run the table one time before?
Again? Well, yeah, he hasn't won tonight, though, has he?
Well, first of all, he bought more raffle tickets. No, he did. He won the Dominic Galoro, and
he won Dominic Galoro.
He won Ball Hawk Dave, and I think he won Ball Hawk Dave before.
Yeah,
like at a event. I think Corey. You know what it is? He's drunk and he's generous with his raffle ticket buying. Corey says to re-roll. Okay, all right, we'll do that for you. Re-rolling it. Okay. This is fun. We should just do this instead of a Cubs show. And the winner is Matt S. Now, that seems like he already won too.
That's the second time around.
All right.
Like,
wow. We're re-rolling. We at least need one new winner.
Matt S.
Yeah.
You just got fucked out of some jewelry.
Oh my God, Corey's gonna win again. Todd, okay, finally.
Todd,
congratulations. You won the ball. That took a moment, but Todd, you won that one. Let me put your name.
Congratulations, Todd.
10 more minutes in the auction, by the way. 10 minutes left.
Yeah, and we should promote Ball Hawk Dave. When you're at the game, go out to what is it? Waveland and
no, it's and Kenmore, yeah.
Waveland and Kenmore. I always forget Kenmore. I never remember that name. But he's out there and he's selling balls that he got that were hit out of the stadium, and then he cuts some of them up and makes them into, usually the opposing teams home runs. Those are the ones he cuts up.
If you go to the ballhawk.net Etsy store, you can see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he even has the balls that he cut it out of. He gave my niece Kiara a World Series ball that it's really cool. A necklace with the World Series ball. It's really cool because it has multicolored stitches on it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just different than other balls. Of course, she picked the coolest one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, don't be an asshole. Don't take the good one. Because he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday. You pick one, little lady." And then next thing you know, she's picking the best one. I was like, "Don't take the best one."
I am a little bummed. So back in the day, they had American League balls and National League balls, and the American League balls actually had red and blue stitches.
Yeah,
the National League balls just had red stitches, and after a while, they just switched it all to the same thing. But man, I think the last ones were in the 80s.
It was red and blue.
Yeah, and I had one of those when I was a kid. I had no idea what I had. I just played with it. But now I'm like, God, I wish I had one of those like red and blue stitch balls. Those are awesome.
So let's give a couple of gift certificates away. One is from Penguin Imprints, our sponsor, for $50. And remember, hashtag Baker in the chat, and you can win this Baker key or a card bottle opener.
Oh, and if you want to be real ballers, you take that $50 and you go to the affiliates link at Penguin and you buy a KICI, which is the radio station that I volunteer for, because they have graciously given us their ability to make t-shirts and tumblers and stuff. So you could totally get a radio station that I volunteer for as your Penguin Imprint shirt.
That's a deep podcast fan cut.
That's
right there.
Really deep.
So all right,
if I see you wearing that anywhere in the world, I'll buy you a beer.
So that's not a bad deal, actually. Because now, does this count for multiple beers or just like the one time you see it? Because otherwise I just like wear it every time I hang out with you.
I'll buy you a beer every time I see you. One per visit.
One per visit. Yeah. That could really start amortizing after some time.
Oh, wait. But not in Wrigley Field. That shit's expensive.
Yeah.
Regular beers at regular bars.
All right, let's pick the Penguin Imprints gift certificate champion of the worlds. Let's see who that's going to be. It is Wendy. Everyone knows it's Wendy.
Wendy.
Dun. Congratulations, Wendy. I'm going to write your name down in the book of winners.
You can go buy. There are a ton of really cool t-shirts out there. And KICI is just one of them. But if you ever want a beer from me, you got to buy one of those.
We also have a gift certificate from In the Clutch Shirts. That's Billy DeVore's company, and they've got a lot of great stuff. Some of it, which was our ideas, like it's 120 somewhere, or what else do we do? We didn't do the cups one, right? They made all the Ranter Fest shirts. Anyway, let's give this away. I feel like Wellington Castillo at the end of the John Baker game trying to catch a foul ball at this point of the broadcast. You know what I mean? He missed the ball. And the winner of the In the Clutch shirts is Chad. Congratulations, Chad.
Nice. Congratulations, Chad.
I'll be contacting all the winners tomorrow.
I will say, when you were playing the song and you were showing the game, and like I was wondering what was going through John's brain. Well, he's fucking putting balls in the opposite like batter's box, and then Wellington Castillo doesn't catch that ball. Like, yeah. Can you imagine what's going through his head at that moment? Like, what the fuck?
All right, we are up to 2375. Everybody, nice work. Cubs earns got 5 bits, 260. All right, we have only 4 minutes, and I think it like extends time if like there's bids in the last minute or something like that. So, why don't we? I'll share my screen for that eventually, but I think I only have. Well, I have a couple more things I can give away, but why don't
the Matt Kammerer original Javi Baez is now up to 310.
Nice.
I really love that. Like I say, I really love that one. I love this. Like, if I could just fucking buy all of it, like if I could just like start, it would be the Javi Baez, the Pedro Strop, and the Wilson Contreras. I already own the Wilson Contreras.
Well, the Strop one's not going for that much,
but it's a print.
Yeah, right.
But Strop, I fucking love. I still to this day have a left tilt to my hat because of Strop.
Yeah. Oh no, and he was part of that 2014 team too. Like, they were already building it, and we could kind of see that they had some guys. All right. Well, why don't we just give, because it's almost close to the auction. And when the auction, I'm going to share my screen eventually. I don't want to miss it. So I'm just going to give away the grand prize right now. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. So if you want
what are you talking about? No, we have to give away the other things. What are the other things?
What are you talking about?
Is there anything else?
No.
Everyone wants to know who's going to Wrigley Field Dogs with Bleacher Jeff.
No, that's the auction. This is the raffle.
The auction. Raffle. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah. So that's what we'll get to. That we'll get to the auction. That's what I'm trying to get to, and because it ends in 2 minutes. So
that seems like a raffle.
No, that's an auction, baby. That's an auction. We're going to give away the grand prize from the raffle right now. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything in the clutch. No, that's everything except for the grand prize, which this thing's worth actually well over $100. So let's give it away. I've been saving this for this moment, really. So here we go. I'm going to shuffle it 12 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Please be somebody local. Let's go.
Oh my God. Please don't be me. This is the one thing I don't.
Here it goes around, and the winner is Corey Furlong again. The man is on fire.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to want to respin that one. So, Corey, you can pick up your bottle sometime when you're in Chicago. So congratulations. This is actually a really cool thing. I'll keep it nice for you until I see you.
See, and I just said that I didn't want it because I do not like champagne. I like a lot of alcohol. Champagne is not one of them. I'll drink Malort all day. Champagne, 0 days.
Yeah, you have to have good champagne. Cheap champagne's horrible. So let me now share my screen yet once again with the end of the auction here. And also, I got a couple songs I'm going to play at the end of the show. One of them's from the game. It's the demo.
Corey says, hold on to that until I'm in town and we could pop it at Ball Corner.
Yeah, I've been saving it. Yeah, how about we pop it when the Cubs win the World Series again?
Oh my God. That has to be a video.
Yeah.
That's going to be a TikTok phenom.
Yeah. Okay, we're up to 2405. I'm going to keep refreshing my screen. You can see this, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. So John Baker's up to 400. Rizzo signed Bat's up to 300. Bleacher Jeff's Wrigleyville Dogs 135.
We're at 96.8%, people.
Yeah, we're so close. And by the way, you can also just
right now. So my screen says 2420.
Oh, all right. Okay, yeah, 2420. I like that number.
Yeah, it's a 420.
We're only $80 away. Oh, the Javi was sold somehow.
Oh, because if you spend
they didn't buy it. They didn't buy it though. Everything's sold. Everything's done. It's over.
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
Oh, it's 10 o'clock. It's over.
It's over. The
3 hours just doesn't. You know what? Do we need a pitch clock? No, we don't, because 3 hours is the correct amount of time for this shit.
Yeah, for this show, the Jerry Lewis Telethon Son Ranto show of John Baker Day. But that was a really good time. And, I just appreciate everybody's help in getting this together. We're a year out. Like, I'm hoping that we open on August 8th. So we're literally about exactly a year away from opening. So this is really going to help us launch. And that's the key here. It's like, we need to start buying shit. We need to start paying people and figuring out how we're going to spend the money on the set and who to hire and, the costumes. And so we're trying to uncover we're trying to do this in the best possible way with all the best ideas, throw everything behind it that we can to really make this a special experience, not just for the actors and the audience, but really for the city of Chicago, because it's a baseball musical and there's not a lot of those. There's a couple, but I think you'll recognize a lot of the themes that we talk about on this show and that I believe in as a person in this piece.
In the last baseball musical that I remember in any way, I believe it was about the Yankees. It was very reverent. And we don't need that kind of shit. We need to find out what these fucking owners are doing.
Will Baker, by the way, just wrote in, if it's not too late, I'd like to donate a 1-hour music lesson best suited for a low brass player to the auction. But it is too late for the auction.
We can't get him the auction, but we need to work with them, and then we'll figure out something like that, because David Elliott is like a band director.
Yeah. Maybe he wants to take it.
Maybe somebody could donate an hour of Will Baker's time to David Elliott's band, and he could do maybe like a Zoom call with the band or something. I think that would be awesome, because one thing kids in bands don't get is a lot of like professional musicians telling them that, like, yeah, this is a thing you could just keep doing without being a rock star. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, and there's all sorts of ways. I mean, it's tough to get to the level that Will gets to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
but
Will
not
is
a lot of jobs.
Literally at like major leagues level, but people need to see that it's possible when it's not exactly what we see in pop culture.
Corey Furlong said, I might have messed up the Bleacher Jeff auction. I don't know what that means, but that wouldn't surprise me if Bleacher Jeff's auction got messed up. So we'll deal with that at a future date, maybe tomorrow. We got time on that one, I think. So, we'll deal. But anyway, thank you. I mean, I'll look at the fundraiser one more time. Right now, the Trapdoor fundraiser's at $750, and that, this is going to continue on. If you see that little QR code at the top right of your screen, if you're able to click on that, that's where you just give cash, and that cash goes straight to Trapdoor. That, by the way, is a tax-deductible donation, because they are a non-for-profit. So none of this money is going to me. It's all going to them because they're producing it. So that's how this is how this works. I have to ask them for the money to buy cool shit for the show.
Which means that as much as we trust Danny, there is somebody over there going, well,
yeah, well, they're watching the budget, because 60 grand. I mean, frankly, that's like, this is going to be the $60,000 version of this show. You know what I mean? Like, there is $1 million version of the show that I'd love to do, sometime if I had the budget, the resources. But we're going to do the $60,000 version. But I think, keep it simple and let the art speak for itself. Just, that's kind of the theme of the night in a way.
And if we're lucky, you get it out there. That's what this is all about. Getting it out into the world so people can see it and enjoy it, which I know they will. I've been part of the read-through of whatever the first draft it was, and it was great, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So, like, getting that out in front of people is going to be great. And if, the lottery hits that day, somebody wants to take that bigger, and that would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, you're going to get, there's a lot of steps to go to, but when it starts to happen, it happens real quick. And so if, but we're going to do our best to get it to this next beautiful stage. And as I said, any help that you guys have been giving me in getting this going. I know I've done a couple of fundraisers on this. Dominic says, if anyone wants a custom baseball, let me know. We'll donate proceeds in the musical. Thank you, Dominic.
That is awesome.
People like Dominic, people like Corey. I'm actually going to see Corey's son at Metro and Hot Mulligan.
Ooh,
that's the oldest person in there.
That's a tough ticket to get. I was lucky enough that Corey invited me to go see Hot Mulligan here in Iowa City, and that place was fucking packed.
Yeah,
and I saw
big band
all over the internet, like in Reddit and all sorts of like Iowa City stuff. People trying to get those tickets, like it was sold out, and not only was it sold out, there was all sorts of people who were upset that they could not get into that show.
Oh,
And
well,
I
I'm
have
going
to
to treat
say,
my +1 with a little bit of care then.
yeah, and I have to say, it was a great show. I enjoyed the hell out of it, even though I'm an old ass man. But
Yeah, I think I probably should invest in some earplugs before I go down there, even though I play in a rock band. It's different when you're doing it. When you're sitting there, you're like, because, I'm sure they're loud as fuck, but that's how it's got to be.
well, I'm old as shit, so I stayed in the back.
Yeah, well, no,
It
I'll
was
be
a
in the
very
back.
small
Don't worry
place,
about that.
So
Yeah.
it was very loud, but like I was still like, I'm in the back. Like I can't be up front with these kids.
The other thing we have to give. Oh, Matt is saying, Danny, read your texts. All right.
And
Matt said, talk to Joe Johnson. I will do a large PCA map if he can get it signed, and then you can auction that off. So this is just like a group freaking effort right now of like, and Matt, I wanted, speaking of, Matt working on the show, it's like, I was talking to him about an idea I have for the poster. We have to cast the thing first to get that done the way I'm thinking about it. Maybe somebody could talk me out of it with a better idea, but I kind of want to do something that's kind of looks like Rock and Roll High School, like the Ramones on it. It's got all the characters. You kind of know who they are, and we'll set you up for who you're going to see, kind of on the poster.
Yeah.
So, but in like a sort of caricaturish way. Anyway, I'm excited to work with Matt and all that stuff, and Penguin Imprints. Talk to Tom about maybe doing some stuff. Talk to Dominic as well. So this is an all hands on deck kind of situation, as it is. And the more people that I can include in it, the better it's going to be, as long as you don't fuck me up.
Right.
Right.
It's all a collaborative thing. And, and this is a lot of us don't get this opportunity to collaborate on things like this. So jump in because you can. You don't get this opportunity very often.
We also have the obvious shirt that I'm wearing right now for sale, the John Baker Day shirt. Joe from Obvious Shirts is also going to be giving a donation based upon the number of shirts that we sold. I'm sure he's keeping track of that some way. And anyway, this is an ongoing process. We still need a lot of effort and to get it done. Oh, there's a fly on me. I think I might have died. So
you're not yet in the urn.
So yeah, well, I can't. The urn's gone now. I can't die. I got to save up for a new urn.
You were hoping, you were like, the urn's gone. I'm now immortal.
Yep, exactly. I just locked in vampirism. But we do have to give away the Baker. That we're going to give away this key. Why do I keep calling it a key? It is kind of a key. It's a key to liquor that you can open.
It's a beer key.
It's a beer key. John Baker Day beer opener that fits in your wallet from Penguin Imprints, Little Yumper, King Among Men, and I gotta share the screen to that. A lot of screen sharing. Here we go. Giveaway tool. Hashtag Baker in the chat. Oh, number 14 in there for Ernie.
There's got to be more than 14 in there.
We'll see.
Yeah. Here we go. Who's it going to be? I bet it's going to be Corey again.
Oh, and the winner is Alex.
Oh, Alex. Nice.
Congratulations, Alex.
You know what that means? I'm going to go over to Alex's house and be like, you need to open my beer.
Exactly. We only have cans. Too bad. Yeah, I guess that is the John Baker Day show. I'm going to play two songs. First, I'm going to play a song from the game, which is this is just a demo version. I'm singing on it. Got a lot of other people, including Larry Hawley. If you know Larry Hawley, he's singing on this. A lot of people from Trapdoor Theater playing roles they wouldn't normally play, but I need to get this out because I was trying to get a grant that I did not get. But this is the opening number of the show, and I'll preface it that way. It's called Baseball is a Business. It's kind of like tradition from Fiddler on the Roof. When you meet all the characters, it's kind of like that, it's kind of that kind of song. And then the last thing I'll leave us with is the original Night the Backup Catcher Got the Win song. With the one I wrote at the next morning, hungover.
We will have all three versions.
All three versions getting played tonight. So it's the one that I woke up and drunkenly wrote and put on Bleed Cubby Blue and forgot about for years, until David Baker, John's dad, was like, you wrote a song about my son. And then it was all this. And then now we're here. So, music has always taken me great places. And so hopefully this one will too. But I love you all. And thanks for being a part of it. And I guess I'll say spagog.
That's the word. Spagog.
When I was just a little boy selling peanuts in the stands to all the hungry, drunken, nutty, rowdy fans. When the game was over, I would always stay and collect uneaten peanuts left over in the bag. Then I'd separate the good ones that were still inside the shell. 'Cause you make a lot more money with some free peanuts to sell. 'Cause baseball is a business. Profits can be limitless. I got super rich with this. Live the dream. Own a team. But of course I couldn't do it alone. I had to find the best players in the world to be successful every single year. But I had to be rich first.
We practiced hitting with Dad in the yard. We had talent and we played hard. Worked off our butts and a whole lot of luck to become baseball superstars. Played travel ball and got driven around. Taken to showcases, playing for scouts. Drafted and signed, it was worth all the grind when you look at my bank account. Baseball is a business with physical fitness. Profits can be limitless. I got super rich with this. Live the dream. Be a team.
Then I put together the greatest mathematical minds in the baseball business to build my team. But when you have money like I do, it's easy to find people.
We are the scouts finding players to train. We are the coaches who teach them the game. We are the guys who data analyze and are paid for using our brain. We're the reporters who give you the score. We are the fans who make the crowd roar. We let them know how to make lots of dough and then try to make some more. Baseball is a business. We're selling season tickets, adding numbers and digits. Profits can be limitless. Berkeley middle class with this. Live the dream of the team.
And while I'm testing D's nuts, peanut fuel in outer space, the cows will be in the capable hands of my adopted twin children, Terry and Tamara. I taught them everything I know.
Adopted son of a rich billionaire. Like to go hunting and shoot polar bear. Don't have to work, people think I'm a jerk, but I don't really care.
I am a genius who studies science. Sexy and ruthless and intelligent. Get what I need with gluttonous greed. Yes, I'm the evil twin. Baseball is a business with cold-blooded wickedness. Selfishly duplicitous. Glad we were not triplets. Profits can be limitless. We got super rich with this. Live the dream. We're a team.
And while I'm coasting around the universe, I know the cows will continue their winning ways with our MVP and All-Star Babe Aaron. I'll be back for the playoffs.
The greatest player, I am the team's face. Chicago Cows always come in first place.
You better win till I come back again in my rocket from outer space.
Donovan, take it this incredible man. If he can't do it, then nobody can. Wealthy tycoon, smartest guy in the room. Everyone, clap your hands. Clap your hands. Baseball is a business. I stand as a witness to the great capitalist, the internationalist, affluent philanthropist, researcher and scientist. Peanuts are the greatest gifts, tuning cars and rocket ships. Come back soon and we'll be missed with a dream for the team.
Goodbye, everybody. This season, no matter what happens, remember one thing.
Baseball is a business.
The night the backup catcher got the win, I showed up down at Wrigley with a belly full of gin. I knew it would be a long one. Edwin Jackson was pitching. The night the backup catcher got the win. Edwin Jackson only lasted 4. The game was tied for 12 more innings, nobody could score. We went to Captain Morgan's cause we wanted to drink more. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Sat in the upper deck with 3 of my best friends. The night the backup catcher got the win. We went just outside to have a smoke, but as we stood beyond the gates, Captain Morgan's closed. We got left outside and we couldn't get back in. The night the backup catcher got the win. 3 sheets to the wind and overserved. We couldn't get back to our seats in upper deck reserved, so we watched the game from the dugout on Addison. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Got sick outside of Wrigley from mixing beer and gin. The night the backup catcher got the win. John Baker finally won it in 16 with the most exciting sac fly this baseball fan has seen. But I sort of missed it, I was drunk as Charlie Sheen. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. Well, they threatened us with handcuffs when we tried to sneak back in. The night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win. It was the night the backup catcher got the win.